Copy 724, Roger. Trying to maintain 2,000.
Maintain 2,074.
Comment 504, descend to maintain 3,000.
3,000, comment 504. And for Captain 724, is our traffic about our 12:30?
At 12:30, 1 o'clock, Captain 724 now.
Okay, we got it.
Captain 724, maintain visual separation. Mechanic deck, clear visual approach, runway 4 right.
Visual 4 right, maintain visual separation from traffic, Captain 724.
Comment 504, ready speed of 170 for tower space. You can follow Boeing 727, 1 o'clock, 6 miles right stage, descending out at 3,500.
We got to hit this side with 12,500.
Comment 504, follow traffic, clear visual approach, runway 4 right, maintain 170 knots, 5 mile final.
170 so far out.
Captain 724, maintain 170 knots, 5 mile final, contact Boston Tower 116.8.
5 mile final, Captain 724.
Comment 504, traffic behind the left speed and Embraer 135 to the parallel runway that maintains separation from the ocean.
504. Okay, the airport is there.
Yeah, 574 visual approach runway 4 left.
There they go, 570.
Eagle 470 traffic, 1238 miles, 3,600 descending for the parallels on our deck.
I'll hit the 570.
Comment 504, contact Boston Tower 132.22.
32.2, so what if I go forward?
Here, 328 box first, thank you. Eagle flight 570, the RJ just crossed in the tank now, 1235 miles, 1,700. Eagle 570, maintain visual separation, and contact Boston Tower 128.8. Here, 328, so maintain 2,500, you're going to follow an Embraer on an 8-mile straight up final. Here, 328, thanks. I'll let you follow him in just a moment. Maintain visual separation with them for now, caution right clear. Thank you. Expect to follow them at about 2 miles.
So maintain 3,000, return to 354.
Here, 328, shore left heading 110. Follow the Embraer, proceeding down runway 4 left, descending at pilot discretion. Here, 328, caution right clear, launch contact Boston Tower 128.8. Yes.
Eagle 579, traffic.
Eagle flight 539, launch switch to 15210, descend and maintain 4,000.
310 and a 4,500. Approach coming out 182, 7,700.
Comment 182, box switch to 1 attack, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000, coming out 182.
Canada 354, turn right heading 310. Right turn 310, Canada 354. Yeah, 354, traffic in left turn to the parallel runway, being Embraer 135, everything kind of visual separation from here. Okay, we're looking for it, thank you. Northwest 32, Boston, approved that. 354, speed 170. 170, then December 2000, Canada 354. Northwest 32, descend to maintain 3,000.
Northwest 382.
Eagle flight 539, shore left heading 140, ready speed of 190.
140 heading on to 190.
That's all right, aircraft. Destination Delta is currently hourly, no significant changes. Boston clear 3028.
Right, 012, we have to apply to Canada 354. Canada 354, clear visual approach, runway 4 right, maintain 170 knots, 5 mile final. Okay. 170 to 5 final. We'll clear the visual 4 right, Air Canada 354. Okay, just make the Delta Nut Colonel. Come at a 3028, hourly weather update.
First for the Embraer, clear visual approach, runway 4 left.
Mark face edge, site maintaining visual separation, contact Boston Tower 132.22. Okay, 3222, Air Canada 354.
539, maintain at least 170 knots to 6 GMA, please.
17 to 60,
Ego 539, thanks. Contact Boston Tower 128.8.
28 knots.
Yes.
Happy 724, right? Descend and maintain 2000.
Descend and maintain 2074.
I'm at 504, descend and maintain 3000. 3000, I'm at 504.
And for Captain 74 is our traffic about our swim
That's 12:31 o'clock, Captain 724 now.
Okay, we got it.
Captain 724, maintain visual separation, the Canada clear visual approach, runway 4 right.
Clear visual 4 right, maintain visual separation from traffic, Captain 74.
I'm at 504, we need speed of 170 for tower station. Get following a Boeing 727, 1 o'clock, 6 miles right station, descending out at 3500.
We got hit inside with going back 170 from the 504.
I'm at 504, follow traffic, clear visual approach, runway 4 right, maintain 170 knots for 5 mile final.
170 so 5 out, and
Captain 724, maintain 170 knots for 5 mile final, contact Boston Tower 132.22.
5 mile final, Captain 74.
I'm at 504, traffic behind the left being an Embraer 135 to the parallel only, that maintains visual separation from you.
504. Standing as the airplane, sir.
Ego 570, clear visual approach, runway 4 left.
There we go, 57.
Ego 470, traffic, 1238 miles, 3,600, descending for the parallels on RJ.
Hour within 5 seconds.
Comet 504, contact Boston Tower 132.22.
Boston Tower 128.8.
28.8, take it easy, 57.
See ya.
Centuries ago, famed mathematician Katherine Johnson wrote, "The whole idea of going into space was new and daring. There were no textbooks, so we had to write them." Now, the United Federation of Planets stands on a new brink of exploration and learning, yet again pushing beyond the bounds of contemporary understanding, and for a new dawn proclaim proudly once again, these are the voyages of.
3, 2, 1. Hi. Sorry, we were having a discussion and I got distracted. But hello, and welcome to Rook and Rasp tonight. Let me get to my script. I was out at the bottom of it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Voyages of here on Rook and Rasp. We'll be following the story of the USS Serenidus as it continues its mission to explore the Gamma Quadrant. Tonight, we are using the Star Trek Adventures 2D20 system from Modifius. Great game, by the way. Love it. You should buy it. It's wonderful. But as a reminder, we are in no way affiliated with Modifius. We just like playing this game. Obviously, I just told you to buy it. I love it. So, it's one of my favorites. Got me into RPGs so hard 5 years ago now. So I'm Rue, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. Joining me is my wonderful cast in order of rank. We have, well, you're all ranked the same. So, are we not? Oh, 2 of you are ranked a little higher, so, but which one of you outranks the other one doesn't really...
We have to wrestle in mud to see who's in charge, and then make a gun out
I think
of,
Charlie's gonna win.
Probably. It's mud being Saurian's natural habitat, and sometimes.
I mean, maybe. So, but the way I've got it set up in the layout is, Matt, you are first. You are Commander Tox Garahar.
Yes, I am.
We have Kennedy as Commander Charlie.
Hello.
We have Phil as Lieutenant Commander Zeke Cooper.
Howdy, howdy.
And Sean as Lieutenant Commander Keith Haskins.
Hello.
As we get through things this evening, sorry, I looked over and I'm kind of in a corner on the layout, so I'm going to try to sit more centered. So if you see me slouch over, just poke your screen. I'm sure I'll feel it. Down below the screen, you should see, or below the chat, you should see a nice little magnifying glass with a little octopus eye in it, and that is our Cthulhu's. Those are our channel points, and you can use those to give our players rerolls. You can give them momentum, which is the in-game currency for the players, or you could give me threat, which is my in-game currency. You can also tip. I need to change over the reward sheet because I completely forgot, but if you donate money, we will definitely get you your tier reward, which is usually naming an NPC, creating an NPC.
It's mostly just making us work harder because it's fun that way.
If you want to make us work harder, pay us.
Do we have endangering an NPC?
That's a good rule most of the time. Do we have endangering an NPC? Is that
That
what
should
you
be a
said?
good one. Yeah, there we go.
No, what did you say? I missed
Yeah,
it.
do we have endangering an NPC? That would be a good one.
What NPC would we endanger, though?
I think we all know which one that is.
Always Minkler.
It's always Minkler.
Yeah.
Well, Minkler was a paid-for NPC, so I feel like Minkler might have plot armor.
Well, we can put him in danger. I paid for him.
Feels like I'll pay for him to be put in danger too. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. Make him bleed. But yeah, so I think that's everything, unless anybody has anything they would like to say to the audience or plug or push. Matt, do you have anything that you would like to plug or push?
Yeah, October 3rd, we are launching, officially launching QG Entertainment to the channel with our Gilded Griffin show, which is going to be our D&D thing with the story called Fall of Akatoria. I've got a good cast with some solid ideas of what they want to do, and we're going to tell the story and see where it goes. It's going to be a multi-seasonal thing, and it'll be fun. So that's coming up October 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern. There should be, if you keep an eye on Twitter, I'm over there. I should know my own Twitter. Crap.
At Quiet Gentleman for Quiet Gentleman Entertainment, or at
there we
Quiet
go.
for Matt.
Yeah, if you go to at Quiet Gentleman, we're going to be launching a trailer there sometime before next weekend, hopefully. So it just depends on how quickly people get stuff edited. But that should be coming up real soon.
All right, and if at any point you type in !rewards, you should see that tier reward sheet. I hope you all can use it. If you can't, I will type it when I remember, but I'll be a little distracted. So is one of you going to help me track momentum and threat tonight?
I can do that. I've got
Could someone volunteer to do that? Thank
text
you.
for it. Are we starting at normal 4 and...
We are not. We are starting at 4 momentum and 12 threat.
12? Wow, it's all very threatening here.
Very threatening here. I have a reason for it. Don't worry. I'm going to use all of it, and you'll be fine.
The pregame chat was have fun. It's
I do want you to have fun. I do want
It's
you
going
to
to be a
have fun.
super fun game, guys. Don't worry about murder time.
There's no murder time. I promise. I promise. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in to the Voyages of our Star Trek Adventures actual play. So, Captain's Log. While initiating first contact with the spacefaring people of Jerushai, an M-class moon of Voyages 6, our sensors picked up an anomalous power signature of oscillating magnitude in an uninhabited region of the globe. Concerned that the energy fluctuations could indicate a looming catastrophic event, the Jerushan hegemony has requested our aid in preventing disaster. I've dispatched an away team of Commanders Garahar, Charlie, and Haskins to join Ambassador Cooper, locate the source, and determine its status. All right. So, as the camera, you see the Serenitis past a lovely moon, and you see the large planet of Voyages 6 out there, and it zooms in to, as the ship passes by, the screen kind of wipes, and you get this picture of lush green vegetation, colorful and exotic flowers surrounding the screen, or surrounding the scene, and the sounds of birds and insects fill the air as a small creek burbles and chatters beside a clearing. A shadow appears overhead and begins to grow, and one of the Serenitis shuttles begins to lower. So I need Ambassador Cooper. We're going to kick this off immediately with a control con roll, because you are flying the shuttle because you don't like transporters.
That is 100% right. Thank you. All right. You said control con. Is that what you said?
Control con, yes. Difficulty 2 to bring it in. It's kind of a tight clearing for the shuttle, but you should have plenty of room.
Can the shuttle assist with that?
The shuttle probably can assist with that. Let me.
Are we in just a typical transport shuttle?
Yeah, okay, one of the little guys.
I got the stats for it, actually.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. You'll be
doesn't roll very well, but it does roll.
It rolls something.
Oh, hey, yeah, no, it got a 2, which is let me double check. That might be a crit on its con. The shuttle's gonna pilot itself. Don't worry. Yeah, that's a critical success. So that's 2 successes.
For the record, what is the threat range right now?
The threat range is still at normal, so it's just a 20.
Okay.
It's threat range 0.
Nothing then. I got success, but nothing
okay.
else.
So we got 3 successes. Go ahead and give yourselves 1 momentum. You don't need anything super special for this. You bring it in for a smooth landing. The door opens, and all 4 of you exit into the clearing. And you'll notice everybody here is looking the way they normally do. And I will have you each kind of describe your appearance for the chat, even though your art should pop up on this carousel just above me in the screen. But Commander Charlie, because this is a cooler climb, or at least mild, we'll say sub 25C, they are in a thermal insulated uniform. So it's probably kind of cute. I like those puffer jackets from the 2000s. That's what I think Charlie's wearing.
Just let everybody know that he's not being passive aggressive, but he's probably being Midwestern polite about how cold he is. Where he's like, "Good thing I brought this jacket, right? Yeah, it's just a little cold here for me, but no, I'm fine. How are you?"
I'm glad, you said something that is actually in my notes somewhere, so I can't wait until we get there. Charlie's going to fit right in. That's ominous. So you guys get to this clearing. Let's see here. Go ahead and give me it's probably a Charlie check. Let's look for. You're looking for that anomalous power signature that you read. I guess Garahar could do it as well. But let's use, for Charlie, let's do a reason, I believe it would be science, to see if you can locate that power signature.
All right.
Is this using a tricorder?
Yes.
Cool.
I hope you all have your tricorders.
I got mine.
Only 1 success. With everything I've got going for me, only 1.
That's all right. That was a difficulty 1. You're okay. You easily confirm that the power signature is still, you are in the right area. The power signature is coming from about 150 meters below you and off a little bit. So you determine that you do obviously need to find a way to get underground. Who would like to give me a reason or insight plus science to see if you can find some cave systems?
I can do that.
Okie dokie.
And this is also with the tricorder.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unless you just want to brain it, but yeah, I assume you're using your tools.
Yeah, I got 2 successes.
Okay, fantastic. I'm sorry, that was a difficulty 1, so we are maxed out on momentum. But
that's all right. I also generated a bonus momentum as the ops manager when I use the tricorder.
Extra info.
For extra info. So I want to know if there's any kind of dangerous gases below. If I can pick that up. Just kind of like environmental stuff. Make sure we're not walking into methane.
Absolutely. Right now, you are not picking up anything. You're not getting any warning signs or any indications that there is potentially an unsafe environment that you're walking into. You do locate. You get a ping on like a trace of the like something related to the energy signature located nearby, and all you see really is kind of like a hillside with a bunch of like thick ivy and overhanging vines and things like that. But if you go over there, so if the 4 of you kind of make your way over to where you get this ping, Tox, you do find that underneath this is it looks like it just looks like a cave entrance. It's a natural opening, rough hewn stone around, or not. It's not even hewn. It's just natural rough stone all around it, and you're not picking up anything dangerous at this time.
Real quick question about just: are we carrying supplies with us, just like rescue supplies or anything, or just?
Yeah. So the reason that he sent, or Captain Threx sent Keed, was just in case there is something else. Now the people of this planet are on the other side of the planet. They don't even know anything. They indicated that they didn't know anything about this side. Believed it was uninhabited. But with the power signature and where it is, they did want Keed to be there just in case something happened, especially if you guys are going to have to go cave diving. So, but yes, you do have supplies for kind of generalized concerns, if that makes sense. You kind of a little bit for everything. Be prepared. Your little Boy Scouts getting all ready to go on a little expedition.
Yeah, I've got my standard Starfleet medical kit. Not expecting anything outrageous, which is probably the worst thing I could have said.
Dun dun dun. Of course it's outrageous. I'm here. So yeah, so I assume the 4 of you go in, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So upon entering the cave, you get probably about 15 feet in. It is dark, but as you enter the cave, I'm going to go ahead and say that a large blast-style door does lower behind you. You get to a point, it triggers a door, and it comes down out of the edifice around you and shuts. A soft hiss sounds as it seals, and the temperature actually lowers a little bit more. It is evident to you as power, or as lights start to power on around you, that you are in. This is definitely a structure that has been built into the side of this hillside. Keed, go ahead, and your tricorder chirps, and it is picking up a trace of something. If you want to go ahead and give me a reason plus medicine real fast. Difficulty 1 on that.
That is a 6/6. So no criticals, but 2 successes.
Perfect. I think we're still full on momentum.
We're over full, but yeah.
We're over full. Oh, is this? Okay. I thought people were just adding to it. I was like, oh no. You pick up. So you saw that error, and that was just kind of like one of those exclamation points in a triangle, like a warning. Hey, something changed. But it clears on its own after a second, and you don't see anything else. Every reading that you pick up with that scan, everything's fine. It confirms with what Tox was showing earlier.
So either my tricorder had a little hiccup, it popped a warning when that door slammed shut, which, by the way, did we not know that there was a door there?
Didn't pick it up on scans.
So let's just be on our toes. The readings are normal. There's nothing, it's a couple of degrees colder. Sorry about that, Charlie.
Can I determine if the door is openable off from this side?
Sure, you can give me a reason or insight engineering, difficulty 1.
Can I assist him? Because Charlie's going to be a little worried at this point.
Absolutely.
I am not helping him.
Okay.
Hands are shaking too much.
What was the difficulty on that?
Just 1.
Yeah, I got 2 successes.
So as you look around kind of this area and you examine the door, you do not see any openable panels or anything like that as far as anything that you could possibly trip or interact with to get that door to open. You do find in the wall, though, in the stone, it looks like, again, uncut stone. It just looks like rock, but you are picking up like energy conduits, like power conduits in the wall in such a way that you kind of, your tricorder gives you a readout that you think you could probably track through the walls. Right now you're just in kind of an open hallway and it is dark, but as you, like when you first progressed in, the lights kind of came on automatically as they did. And so you see them kind of just head on towards that, the area where you got that signal. So, because like I said, it was down, but it was also off a little ways. So it's heading in that direction.
I'll lean over to Charlie with my tricorder and be like, I think if you look at this, if we have to, we can get out of here. If we can just make the power flip right here. You see in the readout I've got?
Ew. I just hope we can do so like relatively soon. I mean, not just for my sake, but for the team's sake.
I'm cold.
Sure. I'm sure that, we'll get some more of those hand warmers.
Tox pulls out a pocket of
Dude, just a whole bunch of them just...
I brought these for you. That's all Tox's kit is. It's its tricorder and little hot pads for Charlie.
I think at a certain point, Charlie's just going to be doing what they did in that one Star Trek episode where he's taking his phaser and just heating rocks left and right.
Yeah.
You just heat like a section of the wall and just sit against it. Nice.
And can I, since I had to go to medical school as a part, to become a counselor or whatever.
Sure.
What I kind of want to do is roll to see if I can have an idea that I might be able to give Keed for maybe a metabolism enhancer he could make with his medical kit or something that would, maybe help warm Charlie up.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you give me a let's see, I guess that would probably be an insight medicine roll.
Okay. What am I looking for?
Yeah, let's for that. Because you, as a counselor and as an ambassador, you also will have some familiarity with different cultures and different alien species and xeno and anthropology to some degree, I suppose. So let's go ahead and make it a difficulty 2, and see if you can you pull out a trick out of your old hat there.
We have a ton of momentum if you want to spend it.
Yes, please spend
Yeah,
all
actually,
your momentum.
I'll spend 1.
Okay. Puts us down to 6.
Yeah. Will my emergency medicine qualify for a focus?
You know what? Because the environment has changed suddenly and without warning, yes.
So I have good news, and I have bad news. Well, I have 2 successes.
And
that third die, in fact, the one that the momentum bought, because this pink die was the one that the momentum bought, it rolled this nice little 20. So we just turned that momentum into threat somehow.
That's all right. I'm going to just take that as threat. No complication is activated at this time.
Yay!
So I'll come tell you, Keith, some idea I've got about how you might be able to help Charlie.
And if you want to act on that, Keith, to synthesize something that might kind of just a little thermal boost for Charlie there. Again, a control. Give me a control medicine. Difficult. Yeah, and because Zeke has given you that success, let's go ahead and do just one difficulty on that.
Just one difficulty.
It's easy enough.
All right, and I've got focuses in emergency medicine and xenobiology.
Then you are focused up. You are in the zone, as they say.
And that is a 3, so that's a critical success. So 2. What is this one? Need glasses. 3 successes.
Awesome. So if you could earn more momentum, you'd be getting some right now. But instead, I'll just say that Charlie, you actually feel pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's a combination of cortisone and something else to help stimulate your system to keep your body from going into its little hibernation mode as it gets colder. So you should be, keeps your blood pumping.
Fact, Saurians, we don't have a hibernation mode.
Oh, you don't? You don't get slower with
we
cold?
die in the cold.
Oh,
So,
okay,
thank
good.
you.
This will just keep you going.
Well, this will just keep you.
We just die.
We're from a warm planet, which we like to consider the galactic standard. And actually, fun fact, like humans are from what we consider a lower temperature than the galactic standard. But it's very interesting.
That is very interesting.
I think that's why you guys like to use the phrase, it's so cool. Because for you, that's normal.
Yes. That is exactly why. That is exactly why.
I'm gonna list a list of complications and or side effects that Charlie might experience, and for him not to worry about it. It's not his body shutting down into death. It's just could be just some mild hand tremors and eye twitches and maybe a little slurring of your speech, but you'll be okay.
Did you get Charlie meth?
Yeah, did you? I like that you impaired the science officer.
Space meth.
It's
Possible.
It's whatever Bones gives Kirk in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie.
The
brisket tongue.
That was bad, as I recall.
It was real bad. Yeah, that is not what he gave you. He did a good thing. He didn't give you some Klingon like hack job remedy. So he hooked you up.
That's only for life and death things.
So I assume the four of you start to kind of make your way. You follow, as I said, Tox's tricorder is easily tracking the energy conduits in the walls. So do you head onward into the depths of this big cave with a door on it?
Yeah. So, a real quick question about the power that's coming out of this stuff. Is it?
Sure.
Does it match anything that we recognize at all?
Actually, it kind of does. It's. I mean, it's kind of like standard. It could be coming from like dilithium. It's not reading as anything strange. Your tricorder picks it up easily. As far as like the technobabble part of it.
But it's definitely not
you
like,
have the
ooh,
chart.
look, Romulans. Not,
No, not at this time. This was first Federation contact, Matt. There are no. Well, I guess the Romulans aren't Federation. But no, yeah, it seems kind of normal, almost so normal that it's kind of odd. Like, wow, this is easy to track. My tricorder is having no issue with this. As you progress into this hallway, there are rooms and doors off to the side. Some of them are open. As you kind of explore through them, you do find mostly they look like kind of abandoned like barracks, maybe some old labs. There's not a whole lot to find in them. Some of the rooms seem like they've been kind of tossed. Other ones left alone, you find like old drinking like cups that clearly had something in them at one time but don't anymore. Just like stains of like old maybe coffee or something like that around it. It's very odd. It's unsettling more than like there's nothing overt giving you a sense that something bad happened. It's just like you're walking through an abandoned facility, if that makes sense. And you walk on for probably about 50-60 yards. You are getting closer to at least being in alignment with where you're reading that energy signature from on Charlie's tricorder. And you do find an open shaft, and next to it, there's just this open door, and you can, if you peer in, it's a shaft that goes downward, and there is like a little blue light blinking on the side of the opening. If you inspect it a little bit and look at it, it looks kind of like a button.
I'm going to push the button.
You gonna push the button?
Yeah.
Okay. As you when you push the button, you hear a whir, kind of, and a hum above you. And as you wait a second, you see some dust kind of fall in this open shaft, and a platform lowers, and looks like an elevator.
Which one of us is in charge? Like, that's a solid question we should have asked.
That is probably a discussion you would have had before this.
Well,
Well,
I have the
I'm just
chain,
gonna
and I
roll
will
with
beat
it.
you all with it until you fall into commit. No.
Well, one of the lieutenant commanders is ready to take charge.
No.
Is it
Probably
the
not
ambassador,
Charlie.
since it's an ambassador thing?
I mean, okay, we're gonna say it's a power signature, or this was an anomalous energy fluctuation on the other side of the moon. So we're gonna say that the engineering guy is the one that's probably in charge.
I was about to say, I think until the energy becomes a life form, you're up.
Yeah,
That's fair. I'll take
Yeah.
the lead and kind of step out on the like tap my foot to make sure that the elevator is like solid. Are there is it just a platform in this?
No, it's like a canister came down. Like,
Okay, so it's
Imagine-
enclosed.
imagine, if you will, a pneumatic tube at the bank.
Okay.
Like, it just went. Boop.
All I could
Canister
think was
appeared.
none of this is OSHA safe. Like, OSHA would be so pissed. if they
OSHA
came
does
in here.
not exist in the Gamma Quadrant. True facts.
It's Space OSHA.
Sposha?
Sposha? No, that sounds wrong.
What? Why don't you let us know when you get to the bottom safely? Then we'll come after.
I will say it is big enough for all four of you to enter the elevator.
You'll know because you'll be with me. Come on.
I go in.
You can get on the elevator.
Charlie's
I mean,
like, maybe if
hypothetically-
we get closer to the core of this moon, it'll get warmer.
Yeah.
It's more like Charlie at this point. It's like, I'm cold, I'm miserable, I at least want to explore something cool. Because science will comfort me.
Science comforts me. So the four of you get in, or do you stay behind, Keed?
No, I get in.
Okay, cool. So as and there is only one button in the thing, and you push it, it changes to green and begins to descend. It doesn't drop fast. It's not the Tower of Terror. You are getting a nice luxury pneumatic tube ride into the center of this planet. Only about 150 yards down, but as you
Learning
descend,
Muzak play.
only if Keed starts to hum.
No.
Okay.
He starts singing Klingon acid punk.
Yeah.
in-
You can't really hum it. It's just a full-on, bellow.
Yeah.
yeah. On the descent talks, your tricorder gives a little bloop bloop.
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop.
I'll check and see what it says.
Okay, yeah, you're seeing some pretty wild fluctuations suddenly in that power signature that you've been tracking. Like to a point that it's like the shift from almost inert and not there to dangerously uncontained.
Is it because of our what's that word?
Proximity?
Yes.
Are you asking that you're triggering something, or that because you're getting closer you're able to now get more data? Is that what you're
Because
asking?
we're getting closer, we can get more data.
It does seem that is the case, like you've passed some type of shielded area. And the elevator begins to slow to a stop, and it opens onto this very, very large room. It's cavernous. It still looks like you're in a cave of some type. But in the middle of this room is a massive, massive reactor installation. Yeah, please go ahead.
I was gonna say, before anybody gets off the elevator, I'm gonna take a medical scan to make sure that the environment is still suitable and safe for us to continue forward.
Right now, I'll say you don't even, because your tricorder's already pinging. As soon as Toxis started to kind of wildly go bloop 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 bloop, you started probably checking for that. Right now, radiation is in safe levels. but you're going to have to look. Y'all are going to have to look at that reactor a little bit more closely. Do some scans on it specifically to see what its status is. And if you'd like to do that, I just need an insight engineering, difficulty 1.
That is me. That is 100%
That's
me.
always going to be you, Tox.
I will assist Tox.
Please do. Insight engineering. Are you buying your third boy?
I got 1.
I got 1.
So we're at 2. Got 2 for that. All right.
Yep.
You guys are still maxed out, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, cool. But I will say for your extra information, because you get that automatically, correct?
Yeah.
You identify this pretty easily with your scan as an aging artificial singularity reactor. It is very similar in build and make to what the Romulans use in their warp drives, oddly enough. As you're scanning, you find that time is absolutely of the essence. The reactor does seem to start, it's beginning to lose containment. So I am going to spend threat at this time to increase the threat range to 3, which is an 18 or above is a complication. So
I'm going to spend all of our momentum to say no.
is that a thing you can do?
Nope, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
So as
go
soon as our engineers and our engineer, not that you guys are engineers, our engineering experts say that it's about to lose containment. Keita's gonna go around to each of them and give them I hate saying words I don't pronounce right. Erythazine, which will help combat radiation poisoning, just as a preventative.
Caution. Yeah.
Smart. That's a good idea.
I'm going to look around for a panel to start trying to reestablish containment.
Okay, absolutely. You are able to easily. It's actually set up very similar to what if you've ever actually seen a Romulan warp drive, which you probably haven't. But as far as the setup goes, it's oddly familiar. Again, it's like this doesn't make sense here. Yes.
Is all the paneling green? Because if it's not green, it's not Romulan.
Then it's definitely green. No, it's.
I'm not sure if that's true. I would read the Romulan book if it was available.
It would be great if they released a Romulan supplement, right?
I would love that.
That would be so cool. But the paneling, it like you start looking around and it almost feels Federation-y. It's really strange. Like it doesn't make sense to you why this random moon out in the middle of the Gamma Quadrant in an uninhabited region has. It makes sense to you with your experience. It makes sense where everything is. So you are able to find a panel. You start working on it. So I'm going to need control engineering, difficulty 5.
Okay. So first question.
Yeah.
Do warp field dynamics apply here in that it is sort of like a warp field? Or sort of like a warp core?
It's operating very similarly, or like I said, its build is very similar to a warp core, so I'm going to go ahead and say yeah.
Okay. I don't think I can use that. Let me double check my notes.
I'm going to be using my cautious talent for this because, obviously being cautious with my science, and I'm assisting.
Sounds great. Please do.
You said control engineering?
Control engineering, yes.
I'm going to use... I'm going to give you a threat to get a die. And I'm going to use 2 momentum to get another die. That'll put me at 4 plus the one from... Or no, Charlie, you're using cautious.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 2 over there, right?
I can only re-roll, which I use mine to re-roll to get 1 success.
Fantastic.
Well, those all succeed. So I've got 2, 4, 5 myself.
Okay, fantastic. So you're all kind of scurrying around trying to restore containment in this, and you're pretty confident that you, like, it starts to kind of come back down. You wait a little bit to see if this is part, remember it was fluctuating pretty wildly. You kind of wait to see if this fluctuation is going to stick. And I'm going to spend all but one of my threat because you just gave me one. And the energy discharges into the room and you all black out. So, what did you do? But everything's fine. Everything is absolutely fine. You there is, I actually looked in the book. There is a threat spend called reversal, and as long as I can pay for it, I can do whatever for a second.
Did we? What was the difficulty? Was 5? Did you get a success on
I won.
Okay, there we go. Now we're at 5 momentum. That's fine.
Okay, I am gonna. This is a scene change, so you are losing that momentum immediately. I apologize.
I didn't want it anyway.
But you all begin to kind of come to. You have massive headaches, terrible headaches. But you're not underground anymore. You seem fine, but you're laying in the grass of that clearing above ground.
He gives everybody his patented hangover cures and see if we can get rid of the headaches.
You don't want to
So
scan them to see if they're okay first.
I'm scanning myself to start with.
He's just clearly we
I'm figuring if I've got the same symptoms everybody else does too, so we'll get rid of the headache first, then we'll assess.
Okay. Well, give me a reason medical with a difficulty 1.
And I'm assuming emergency medicine applies here.
I mean, there's not an emergency happening right now, but sure.
Well, everybody's got headaches. That's an emergency.
Okay.
It's
I forgot I was talking to a man.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's 2 successes.
Not wrong.
2 successes. Okay, go ahead and give yourselves a momentum. Yeah, y'all are whole. You just are showing, everybody's showing symptoms of of a migraine.
Pull this out.
Can I scan the environment?
Please do. The environment allows this. It consents.
So, reason engineering?
Yeah, reason engineering.
I guess I could
have told you rolled. I'm going to give you a difficulty 1.
Okay, so I got 2.
Okay, give yourselves a momentum.
That'll put us back at cap. And then I'm going to... I just want to know where we're... if the planetary conditions seem the same as the planet we were on.
So, absolutely they do. They match everything that you had previously gathered about the Jerushan moon. The only thing that you notice is, because you do appear to be in the exact same clearing where you landed just, less than an hour ago, before you went down into the caves. You do not see that cave.
Do we see
our shuttle?
Your shuttle is not there.
Okay, no shuttle. That seems
Cooper to Cernice.
No response.
Using the tricorder, basically I'm just going to be looking at different, the environment, see if the tricorder tracked its movements or anything.
Sure.
If it might be able to give me information about how far we've moved. And also, I'm going to just check to see if we've been transported.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and give me reason or insight science, whatever would be best for that for you.
Since I
difficulty
get
1.
Extra information when I use my tricorder, is it the same time? Did we jump in time?
It certainly doesn't seem so. Your tricorder is not recognizing any sort of
okay, that's fair.
Time movement.
I got 1 crit, so 3 successes.
Oh, fantastic. So you can use that for extra information if you would like. Okay, so what you figure out in looking at your tricorder, you are exactly where your shuttle should have been. You have not moved at all. I mean, you're clearly not down in the 150 yards below or 150 meters where that signal was. You're not picking up that signal. You're not showing any signs that there was ever a cave system around here, or any kind of structure like that. You're just in a clearing. It's the same moon. You can even see the planet out kind of through the hazy atmosphere, you can kind of see like a rim of that planet. Everything almost seems like you just dropped here. You do not show signs that you've been transported.
Good. So I'm telling this to everybody. So I don't think we've been transported, but I'm not really there's no explanation for what happened to us yet. And we're not able to reach the Serenitis or our ship. Does anybody else have any theories about what might have happened?
That blast somehow trigger a hologram in that cave that we were in?
It
I
did.
scanned for photons.
Yeah.
What did you say? You'll scan for something?
Photons.
Photons? Okay. Go ahead and give me another. Well, with that, you got those 2 extra successes. You're not picking up anything like that either. It seems like you're just on the surface of a planet that has breathable atmosphere, and it's actually, I will say, you actually don't feel cold, but you did get that little pepper up potion from the doctor a little bit ago. So, but you are not feeling cold.
What was the technology level of the people that were on the other side of the planet?
They were spacefaring. They were not necessarily intergalactic planetary, but they were definitely. Sorry.
So I would guess
could
that. So our communicator should be able to probably tap into whatever communication system that they have. Like instead of hailing the ship, we could hail the planet.
Absolutely, you should be able to. You actually had a contact. I should have probably told you that or talked about him earlier, but you did have people that you were talking to with the Jerushan hegemony, that you were kind of discussing the Federation with and introducing your culture to and all that, and learning about their culture and all of that. So you have I guess a communications band that you can tap into with your badge or do you have a tricorder? I guess.
Yeah.
Counts? I'm sure you have one. Everybody has a tricorder.
That's like standard. Yeah.
You just have a tricorder in your pocket.
Commander Garhar, I suggest that I try to reach out to my contact on planet.
Oh yeah,
we can get
please. Anything that you think you can do to figure out what's going on.
So yeah, I'll try to reach out to my contact.
Okay. You tinker around. I'm not going to make you roll for it. You're not picking up that frequency band. It's not showing that that's something that you can tap into on your tricorder. And anything like if you were like me, who doesn't live in the future, and you're trying to just like turn the little dial on your walkie-talkie to find somebody to talk to out there, you're not getting anything.
Can I calibrate the tricorder to scan for ambient radiation levels? Hypothetically, sure. The planet should show age, and I'm wondering if we've gone back in time without realizing it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that sounds more like a science roll, or would that be an engineering
No,
roll?
that's science is good.
Okay.
So like a reason science?
Yeah, give me a reason science on that, and we're going to say a difficulty. You know what? Let's do it a difficulty 1. I'm feeling nice. I already spent all my threat.
I got 2.
Okay, fantastic. So you would get more momentum if you could. Honestly, again, everything seems exactly the same as it was before you went underground. It doesn't. The planet doesn't seem to have moved or changed age. You don't. There's no imprint of any type of movement through time.
Do we all have goatees now?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. No, no. But the light does only shine on this part of your face. Anytime we look at one of you, you have this really stark shadow that your forehead and then nose and mouth are in. But your eyes look dazzling, and there's a slight Vaseline haze around every look at each of your faces as the camera zooms in.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
That was not slight Vaseline, nothing. That was solid Vaseline.
That was just like. But there is, I will say that as you're kind of taking stock of where you are, you're trying to figure out what in the hell has gone on. You start to hear a strange rumble in the distance, not like an earth rumble, but like there's just kind of like this, for lack of a better word, it sounds like maybe a vehicle or something. It's something manufactured, man-made. You hear it in the distance, and you actually see, like as you kind of look around this clearing, you can kind of see out. you see like birds evacuating like trees, almost like something's moving through the trees.
We need to take cover. Get out of sight.
I don't know what game I'm doing if I'm playing Horror on the Orient Express or anything I say. Get down. It's bad shit. No, I know.
This is a if we've traveled in time, or
Absolutely.
if it's motorized, we could violate the Prime Directive.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Oh,
I'm more
yeah.
concerned, like
Yeah.
if they roll up and they're not spacefaring, how do we explain ourselves without violating
Smart.
the Prime Directive? That's what I'm more concerned about.
I see, and I'm like violate the Prime Directive.
Oh no, it's Nyarlathotep.
I did tell you guys that you were going to meet a taxidermist. I was lying, but maybe I've changed my mind. Go ahead. Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and find cover, there is ample place for you to hide behind. There's big, thick trunk trees. There's bushes. There's all kinds of stuff. You have no issue.
What do the native inhabitants look like?
They are
Can
humanoid.
any of us pass for them? Like if we give Cooper a weird head shave and like crinkle up his nose a little bit,
With what technology?
I can phaser off some hair.
Tox takes up barbering just with his
Hey,
phaser set.
one
to
of the most
3.
powerful bullions in existence was a barber on the Enterprise.
That's absolutely right. Was that on the Enterprise or Deep Space Nine?
It was on the Enterprise.
Enterprise.
I reach behind my back, pull out my house daggers. Like, look, if you need to shave something, we'll just use this.
Phaser set to fade.
Nice. Yes.
No. I probably not. With limited
No, that's
time and limited resources. No, they're humanoid. We're gonna use the Voyager method of alien race or alien species creation, and it's just gonna be a humanoid with slightly different hair and a ridge. There's just every race just has a different ridge and a different nose pattern.
So
And,
none of us can blend in.
That's correct.
I mean, you have a ridge.
Question: with our survival gear, do I have like an outdoor breather mask or something that I could just kind of cover up the reptilian face with?
Oh, sure. Because you didn't
Yeah,
know what
Charlie
you were
would do
getting
that.
into. It was Boy Scout preparation. So you were like, well, we're going underground. Maybe I'll need a respirator, and so
Listen, the Blue Boys should stick together. We're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all are fine. Go ahead though and give me a. I assume this will be a Charlie roll. Give me a reason or insight science with a difficulty 1 to see if you can't figure out maybe where that rumble is coming from, or perhaps what it is.
That is crit and a success, so that's 3.
Damn. Okay, yeah, you are easily able to determine that it is it's clearly a vehicle, and it is moving not super fast, but fast enough that you think it's going to be here in a couple minutes. You do notice, and this is all of you, the sound as it gets closer is kind of clunky and a little harsh to your ears. It doesn't sound smooth like your normal like a shuttle would, if that makes sense. You know, a lot of the spacefaring vehicles are pretty quiet with the appropriate engines and things. This sounds a little bit more like diesel.
So, as I say, have you spent time on the holodeck with some historical hollows? Does it sound like a combustion engine?
Yeah, actually, oddly enough. And so, like I said, it's going to be there in about 2 minutes. Y'all have decided to hide, right? So you're just getting out of the way. So after a couple minutes, you start to see through you kind of get a glint or a glare off of what appears to be like a large observation window as this vehicle approaches through on a path that you really didn't notice before, but there now is suddenly a path, and this large, very long, like 40 feet, boxy vehicle shows up that's actually running on tires that doesn't, things that doesn't seem appropriate, but it does have tires. It does have a huge, massive window. It's a tan color with like a brown stripe down the side and some kind of character on it. it's and then it starts to make like a melodic horn kind of sound. If anybody wants to, you can give me an insight reason at half, difficulty 2, for anyone to possibly place this melody.
You round
Insight
up or
or-
down?
Insight what?
Insight and reason, but your reason value is at half. I'm going to go ahead and say round up. Because it's all brain stuff. Nothing in Starfleet prepared you for this moment.
If it's playing the General Lee's horn, I'm gonna be mad.
I got
Okay.
what is it? 7.
It was a difficulty 2. I will go ahead and say that as it approaches and continues to kind of play this little tune. Honestly, I was looking for Rodney Dangerfield's horn in Caddyshack, but I can't make that sound with my face. So, but actually, Zeke, you recognize this. This is a song that you actually rather like by an artist by the name of Federo Hoth, and it is called Andorian Summer, an Interlude.
This is interesting.
Wait.
He's like, I love this car. And just for better reference, it looks like a big ass Winnebago. That is
Ask a
just
question.
yes.
So this song, what is it closest to like an R-time analog? Just so I know what type of music we're hearing.
Sure, it's well, honestly, if you've ever heard any of those musical horns, it's kind of like a jazz standard, but it's all an air horn. So, like a swing standard, but an air horn. Don't die, Charlie, please.
I'm just imagining it's like the rap horn. It's like brr, brr, brr.
It's lowrider is what you hear. That's probably the as this vehicle pulls up, and even though you have hidden, you are spotted by what appear to be 2 Romulans in the observation window. The
Two
vehicle,
Romulans playing.
yes. Dun, dun,
With an
dun, dun,
observation
dun,
window.
dun,
I
dun,
I
yeah,
guess I
the
haven't been in enough
windshield.
Winnebagos. What's an
It's
observation
a windshield.
window?
Windshield. So, so through the wind. I'm using Star Trek terminology, Phil. Thanks.
Ah, sorry.
It's a
Please,
fancy
get on my
Winnebago.
level. Get on my level. But yeah, 2 Romulans show up, and it pulls to a stop, and they just like look out the window at you and they wave like real big, and they're the smilingest Romulans you have ever seen in your life. And they're rocking a really nice, like the one that looks like a male Romulan has a nice side part trimmed very nicely. It's not the normal bowl cut motif that they usually rock with, but you're pretty sure it's a Romulan. The side doors open, and yeah, these two come out, and they're like, "Oh, hey!" And so they see, and they're like, "Come on out."
Are they
Come on
are they
out, why you-
Minnesotan?
Kinda,
Oh hey,
yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Oh, hey, yeah. Wow, wow,
okay.
a Terran.
We're having a master meeting, right?
Minnesotan, Minnesota Romulans. I cannot.
Hey, doctor, I'm having a bad reaction to the
I think we all are.
Do you need to? Would you like to do a medical scan, Dr. Haskins?
Yeah, actually, before, as we were
Is he gonna do it
approaching, I
on
wanna scan them and
himself
see if
or
they're
them?
Romulan.
All of them.
How many successes do I need? 1?
I'm going to give you a difficulty 0. This would just earn you
Okay.
some momentum if you wanted to. You succeed no matter what.
I got 1 success.
Okay, well, you would get a momentum if you needed it. And everybody's fine. Real fine. Better
And
than
they're
fine.
And they're Romulans?
Oh, they absolutely are. And like when they come out, like one of them, the one that looks male that has the shorter hair and the side part, he's wearing like a nice button down that's kind of a wide lapel. Top buttons are undone, but the pattern on it would almost be like a beachy pattern, but it's more like bus upholstery. That's also how you know that it's a Romulan. The
fair,
But-
brutal but fair.
but yeah, and he's like, "Hey, come on out." So the 4 of you, did you come out when you scanned Haskins, or were you just back there like?
They're
Kind of-
Romulans. Like, I mean, I don't
Can
know
I
what to tell
scan-
you.
Can I scan the vehicle to see if it
Sure.
I don't know. Makes any sense?
Sure. Scan away. Go ahead. Give me a what? Insight engineering.
What's my
Difficulty
difficulty?
1.
Okay, because I got 2 successes.
Okay. Again, with your extra information, so it is reading really strange. Like, it does seem to operate off of a form of like an old fossil fuel, but it also is showing energy signatures that are like you think there's a replicator on board.
They have like Snickers salad sitting inside waiting for us.
Probably so. You know, they do give off. If you were a human, Tox, and you had any familiarity with like old 20th century Earth films like Fargo, this would just really hit home for you. But I don't think that's one of your specialties or focuses.
No. I am gonna kind of step out while clearly scanning the vehicle and be like, this is an interesting. You've got an interesting configuration here.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been working on this I've been kind of piecing it together now for, I don't know, maybe like 5 years or so, wouldn't you say, Janine? And
Janine,
and he says, you know, as you all start to kind of come out of the bushes, you know, he sees. I don't know why I thought I could get through this. He sees you all coming out here, and they see Zeke, and they're like, "Oh wow, gosh, a Terran! Wow!" And when was the last time we saw a Terran? I mean, they've been like disappeared now for like, I don't know, like 300 years or something like that.
Oh, and look, it's a Terran.
His wife is like, "Oh yeah, good thing we came along." And so they introduced themselves. His name is Kevin, and her name is Janine, and and they're very friendly.
I'm pointing this out now. We will be using Kevin and Janine in the future. I cannot not do this.
Okay.
Quick question. I removed
sure.
my mask so they can see Saurian.
It's been a while since I've seen one of you as well, but welcome.
What? Because you've been on this planet? Is that why it's been a while since you've seen a Saurian or a Terran or
Klingon?
Oh no. Klingons we see all the time. Yeah. You're thin for a Klingon. I don't know.
I'm actually part Terran.
Do you eat enough? Where you?
No, my dad was a Terran.
Oh, interesting. No, I mean the Terrans, they, you know how they're kind of grumpy folk, and they like to get a little feisty. And they had the Civil War. You not heard of the Civil War? I guess. Well, if you're okay, I guess you weren't in it. But yeah, they just blew themselves right out of space. I don't know, maybe 400, 300 years ago. I don't know. Don't take this the wrong way, but we're better off without them.
If we were using Federation Standard, what year would it be?
2380. I don't know, what year is this? 2376?
That was pretty close. It's 2377.
2377?
Well, you were really close. That was a pretty good guess.
I do my research.
Hold on. One, I don't know if we're necessarily better with the extinction of a species like the Terrans. But two, what do you mean they blew themselves out of space like 400 years ago?
I mean, like, they had like a war. They got like, some of them got really, really teed off at one group, and the other ones got really teed off back, and they nuked each other right on out of the sky. It's there is rumors that there's like another faction out there that separated off, but they keep to themselves if they are. Your friend here is the first one I've seen, and I don't know. Like I said, ever maybe. I've read books. I've seen movies or films or vids or whatever they're called in this world.
I'm gonna look at Charlie and be like, so we've already confirmed we haven't time traveled. What is the possibility that we slipped into another dimension?
Possibly very high, but I guess one of the questions that I have next is, are you referring to the conflict? I believe the humans referred to it as their Second World War.
Oh, I mean, maybe. We didn't really talk to the Terrans a whole lot. Well, and above the table, no, they were actually. They were actually in space, and they just blew themselves apart.
Huh.
It the timeline does feel very wonky. I will say you don't need a roll for that. It is very confusing, and even Kevin and Janine seem to be a little hazy on the details, and their story kind of switches and is a little fluid as they talk. But they are quite convinced that they have never seen a Terran outside of like educational material. And it's kind of like like Janine's like, I remember when I was in school, we used to have like these little videos and they're like, if you find a Terran, this is how you react. And so the fact that they're seeing one, they're like, cool. I mean, this one
Oh,
seems nice though.
how do you react? I mean, what did the video say about reacting to Terrans?
Uh, Lock your door because their emperor likes to, take over. And so just get inside and stay down. And maybe they'll leave you alone. Well, we were pretty young at the time.
So above the table, how common is the mirrorverse to Federation officers?
I would assume it's fairly known.
Yeah, we're of the proper rank to know.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you guys have probably been there a time or two. I don't know.
When Kevin said the Emperor, I'm gonna be like, wow, I've always wanted to come here.
We have encountered a slight problem, guys. So hold on, real quick. We'll be right back with you. You two are lovely, so great. I have a lot of questions for you.
You want to come inside the van? We can get you out here. We just got off a 3-day camping trip. There's not a whole lot out here. I'm kind of glad that we came along. And this is Janine talking. She's like, I'm kind of, we're on our way home. We could get you a ride all the way into Amaranth, and then maybe you can get, I don't know, maybe that's where the comms relay is. If you need to flag a ride.
Does the name of the settlement sound familiar?
No.
Okay.
We would love that, but we need to do a group huddle. It's a thing that Terrans like to do. You have to console them, or they will just die without proper.
They never told us about that. We're really good at consoling. Do you need an ear and a shoulder, friend?
You know what? They possibly do, but just give us 1 second, and then
okay.
group hug over by the tree. Group hug.
Sure. And they're like, oh, okay. You don't want us to listen. I see. And Kevin goes to work. He like pops the hood and he starts working on something and he dutifully ignores you. And Janine's like, I think that Snicker salad's calling, and she hops in the car.
Okay. Well, one, Snicker salad sounds delightful. I think we can all agree we're all going to have some of it. Two, anybody else realize we're in the mirror universe?
Yeah.
Well, we're in a mirror universe. I'm not sure if it's the mirror universe.
Well, they're referring to Zeke as a Terran, and they talked about the Emperor.
Yeah, but Terrans weren't dead. Last reports, right? Like there was an emperor. There was a Terran empire until like I don't know, the last decade or so, if I remember the reports correctly.
I honestly keep my research into studying our universe, so I'm not completely like I understand the phenomena of transversing across realities because it's part of like warp field dynamics, but I don't know anything about your mirror history. I was trying to learn regular history for the Federation. So one, in this universe, the Romulans are apparently super nice, which is kind of
Weird.
nice. Yeah.
Just real weird.
Two, how do we get back?
It's a good question. I don't know how we got here, other than a flash of light, right? That's the last thing everyone remembers.
Yeah. You'd stabilize that reactor.
The reactor wasn't about to blow up, and it was about to blow up, but we managed to stop it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a singularity, and it was Romulan-ish. I don't know. Are we... Can I make another scan real quick? Are we getting any kind of power source from below the planet?
Sure, please do. Go ahead and give me a insight, I guess, or insight or reason, whichever is better for you, engineering, and see if you can locate anything like that.
I'm gonna give you another point of threat to get a
Okay.
third die. Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay, so because I have a talent called Born Near Warp Core, I'm going to ignore that complication, and I re-rolled the other one. So I got a success, just one. Oh
Okay.
wait. No, I got 2 successes.
Okay. When you say you rolled a complication, what was the number on that?
I rolled 2 20s, one of which I got to re-roll because I gave you threat, and then that left me with a 20. And
Okay,
then my
that's fine.
talent lets me ignore it.
Okay. I was gonna say once you guys woke up, I was gonna take that complication range does shrink back up to just the 20, so you're good.
I rolled 2 20s. Don't worry.
Okay,
We're working hard here.
I just had forgot to say that, and I didn't want you all to think that I was just going to keep you at a threat level 18 for the rest of the show, because that is not my intention.
Yeah, these Romulans seem real dangerous.
I mean, the worst they're going to give you is high cholesterol. I mean, that's and Kevin's like, honestly, that's my fear. But
I'm more afraid of looking at slides of their vacation.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
oh,
fair.
see, I mean, and they have invited you into the van, and like, you scanned. There were no. Everything seems like it was before. No energy signature. You're not seeing anything. It reads like the moon. Nothing untoward.
I think we're gonna have to get. I think to find anything, we need to get out of this clearing. We're gonna have to get in that van and go to the city they mentioned.
I desperately want Snicker Cell in now. Thank you.
You know, whatever I can do is Rue here. I'll make a Snicker salad that you won't be able to have. It'll be here. You'll have to come over. I'm sorry.
It better be there Friday. I'll be there.
Wait, so we're gonna get in the van because we don't have the technology to cross back over.
Well, and also, you know, we with no Earth, there's no videos warning us not to get into strangers' vans when they.
The only one that might know anything about that level of like Earthling history might be Zeke. He's done a lot of Earth history in his.
He's gonna go that back. He doesn't go back that far.
I'm gonna look towards Kevin as he works under the hood. So, how far away is the city that you mentioned?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a city. That's a big word. It's a wonderful. Here, it's not far at all, but it's far enough that you're not going to be able to walk there. I mean, it'll take us probably about an hour on the road to get there, but it's beautiful, and you'll get to see all the countryside as we come out of the hills, and we'll get down into the farms. You know, it's an agricultural village. You know, village is a good. You know, we're like a township. Maybe would be the right term for you. But
so, you came here on vacation, or do you live here?
Like here, like in this clearing?
No, on this moon. I get that you're on camping.
We live in Amaranth.
Okay.
Yeah, we live in Amaranth. We come out here and go camping, you know, for a few days at a time. And Janine comes out and she's got looks like a styrofoam bowl of a Snicker salad, and she's just eating. She takes a deep breath and she's like, "Oh yeah, you got to just get out of the township every now and again, get away from everybody else, and just be one with the planet." And Kevin's like, "Honey, I keep telling you it's a moon." But yeah, please join us.
So I'm gonna go get in the van.
I mean, get in the van.
Tox is like, "See you guys."
Like, listen, there's no other option at this point. We can wander around the wilderness, or we can get in the van.
I mean, really, where else would you want to be? I can show you some pictures of our camping trip. We went fishing.
Maybe you could tell me how you found yourself on this particular moon.
Like,
you're Romulan, here. Right? Oh, okay. Well,
my family's. Well, yeah, but
it was a long way from Romulus, isn't it?
Or Bolian.
Yeah, and that's I was out exploring the universe.
Well, that sounds exciting. I'll have questions about that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to exchange some. So your family's been on the moon for a while?
Oh, third generation in Amaranth, yeah, yep. And as you're all getting onto the thing, Janine actually sits behind the wheel and she starts driving, and Kevin's like, I can give you a little tour of the facilities if you'd like. And he's like, and he engages your questions, but he also kind of dodges them. And he's like, so down here, and you've got like a main sitting area. It's almost like a tour bus on the inside. It's like a main sitting area with some seats and a table, a little kitchenette. There's like a sink. There is a replicator, which seems oddly out of place, but there is a food grade replicator right near the sink. And then there's like a kind of a narrow corridor that looks like it's got bunks on either side, and it ends in a narrow door that is closed. Oh, and he's like, and if you have to, these are the there's the head. And he shows you the bathroom and he shuts the door.
Can I scan my comm badge and see if it is translating from your Romulan to something I understand, or if it's just that they speak English?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Does your character just speak English?
Probably. It's the language of the Federation, I assume.
I'm gonna give you a difficulty 0 on that. So.
Oh yeah, 2 successes. Don't worry.
Are y'all sitting still at 6? On
6. Yeah, yeah.
You know, momentum. You guys could spend it if you want, but it's, everything looks totally safe and fine, and there's nothing wrong with this. They're speaking English, or they're speaking the Earth language. It might actually read as Terran. They're speaking Terran Standard. I don't know.
So I'm gonna look over at Keen.
Charlie's just in there. This is really weird.
I'll look over at Keen and be like, and mouth 3 generations, so like 200 years,
something like that. I mean, that's why I was asking if they were here on vacation. I mean, I was hoping they had a ship that we could get access to. But if there's 3 generations, I don't think there's a ship here.
The ship might have been used for supplies for the colony.
Yeah. Or they could have converted it into this. I'm just gonna gesture. And
while you're talking, Kevin is letting you all. He does not interrupt. He is very polite. He kind of. I'm not gonna say that he's not kind of listening. But Janine is humming along pleasantly as she drives through the underbrush, and she gets to a point where you get out of the forest after a little while, and you start to drive through some other hills, and it's if you look out the windows, if you're kind of taking in the surroundings, it still looks like the Jerushan moon. There are hills, maybe in the distance you see some mountains, but it just kind of looks like the countryside. It's nothing, probably not maybe the planets that you're all used to, but if you've ever seen pictures of old Earth, it looks very old Earthy.
If I look into the sky,
mm-hmm.
and I assume with some navigation background, there's going to be some degree of really kind of going back to the old school type stuff of using the stars and not just a panel.
Sure.
Do the stars look like I would expect them to look from this Jerushan moon?
I will say that the sky is you're not really seeing a lot of stars.
Okay.
Because it looks like daytime.
Oh. Okay.
So it's going to be more like a bluish purple sky. It's very pleasant. A very calming blue purple. You do still see that rim, like I mentioned before, like the sunny side of the planet maybe has kind of a rim that you can see, like when you can still kind of see the moon during the day, but it looks like it's almost behind frosted glass or something. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how you see the planet's silhouette out there.
Yeah.
But Kevin, when he kind of hears y'all talking about ships and things, he's like, "Oh well, we haven't had anybody bring a ship to Amaranth in quite a while. We've heard tell of ships landing, but they don't usually come out to where we are, which is odd because we have the only comms relay for, like the planet or the moon, but people do find us, but we don't really ask a whole lot of questions. Why? Most of us have been here for a long time.
So you don't do a whole lot of trading with off-planet?
No, we believe in sustainable living, and he will go on to say that Amaranth is a very agriculture heavy kind of colony. For lack of a better word, it would probably be what Starfleet or the Federation would call it. It is more a colony. And he's like, we have all sorts. Wait till you meet everybody. And like I said, it doesn't take quite an hour to get there, but you start to approach this area that is now, when you're driving anywhere in through the Plain States or the Midwest, and like suddenly it's farms. It's like, oh, untouched nature kind of, except for the 6-lane highway that goes through it. Oh, farms. Now we're in farmland. So you start to see all these farms, and you see people working in the farms. Go ahead and give me again one of those insight reason rolls. So insight at full, reason at half. I'm going to say round up. These are, again, more difficulty zeros. These are would be momentum builders if you needed them. But it's not going to be hard, but I want you guys to kind of take a look around if you're interested in seeing like who's working these fields and things like that.
Two successes, and I'm actively looking for any Klingons that might be in the field.
I am so glad that you guys all got 2 successes, because I think this is a real team building moment. And I think that as a team, we're going to bond around the fact that you guys all had great successes and ignore the fact that I apparently rolled 2 20s. So let's just move on and not ask any more questions. And we don't need to get any threat from it. And no, I don't have anything that lets me reroll.
Okay.
I thought I was bad when I had a 15 target and I didn't get any successes, but no, never mind.
Okay. Well, okay. So, Keed, you're specifically looking for Klingons. Yeah. You think that you see someone who maybe driving a space tractor that looks, bushy beard, Fu Manchu, mustache, and hair, but the hair's pulled back in a ponytail. But you do that. Woo! Sorry. John moved and dice jumped out of a bag. Your coat knocked into my stuff. Sorry, y'all. But you wear your hair in a ponytail, right, Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see somebody wear, perhaps a Klingon. I don't know. Are you a profiler, Sean Parks? No. You think you see a Klingon, and they weren't surprised to see you as a Klingon. You did not throw
That's
off
why I was curious.
And who else got successes? Okay, you see, surprisingly, what you think is a Tholian. You're muted. You see a very large, kind of insectoid creature that is out amongst like tall corn.
What looks shocked like I was at a loss for words.
Wait, hold on. We see a Tholian?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what Tox thinks he sees.
Yeah,
I'll slap at Charlie and just like point, like kind of very worried.
What's the ambient temperature?
Of the planet? You run a scan for that? Yeah. We'll say you check your weather app on your tricorder, and it's reading an average of like 78 in the sun.
That's not completely inhospitable for a Tholian, but that's not. They normally can't survive at those temperatures.
Well, I would also have you give me, Charlie, an insight reason.
That was Charlie saying that to them, by the way, not to the storyteller.
Oh, no. How dare you question what I put in my story?
How dare you question my Minnesotan Romulans?
2 successes.
2 successes. You at this point also remember, as you realize that Tox has seen a Tholian, and you kind of spit take and see it as well. and you have the thought, well, it's not entirely inhospitable. You start to realize, like, it doesn't, like, your thermal insulated suit feels too warm.
It's interesting.
So it's not entirely inhospitable to you either.
When they say Tholians, I'm like, wait, aren't they highly xenophobic?
Yeah.
That too?
Just kind of like Romulans, only worse.
This is not making sense.
I sorry to interrupt here. I don't want to butt in, but
What would be a Badinsky?
Badinsky, but that farm is run by a lovely couple of Tholians. We've had them over for dinner before. They are kind people, and I will not stand for you saying that they're xenophobic. You have not even met them.
You're absolutely right. I apologize. We are used to a different kind of Tholian, I believe.
Well, really? Well, to each their own, I suppose. But, again, you run with a Terran, so I don't know what you're used to. And, no offense. That came out entirely wrong. I'm just saying, you run with a... You're a Terran.
You're just gonna say it again.
Right.
Doubling down. All right.
I don't know what to expect. You don't match the videos. You don't seem nearly as frightening as they kind of made everybody out to seem. But you'll see. You'll meet him.
We shouldn't be quick to judge your Tholian friends, so you shouldn't be quick to judge me.
And Kevin kind of is put back on his heels a bit, and his cheeks get a little pink or a little green, and he's like, "You're right. That was incredibly rude of me, and I really apologize. I'm real sorry. And Janine's like,
mistakes and we move forward.
You're gonna step in it. You step in it every time.
Okay.
But yes, as you guys continue to drive, you do start to see, and if you do look out the windows as you were looking at the Tholians and everything, you do see like what looks like a community start to kind of appear in the distance. As you get closer, you start to see like mills and granaries and barns and farmhouses, and they look like farmhouses. What the five of us gathered here today would consider farmhouses. But as you get closer to Amaranth, you do see a sign that says, "Welcome to Amaranth, all are welcome." And you get in there, and Janine kind of keeps driving. She slows down and she's like, "Well, here we are." And she kind of, you see a lot of small dome, or not small, but you see a lot of dome structures. Some of them are covered in sod, some with circular windows and circular doors. You see some with like solar panels on top. You see others with windmills on top, and you see a lot of like, of course, there's flower gardens and things of that nature, but there's also a lot of like small like community there's like a community garden. A lot of the houses have their own gardens, and Kevin's like, trying to get a little more comfortable and hopefully overlooking his verbal blunder with Zeke a little bit ago about Terrans. He's like, we believe very strongly in sustainable living. We try to generate our own energy using the natural resources available to us. And he kind of goes on and on about agriculture and all of this. And some of this might seem a little familiar to you, Zeke, just because you did grow up in like a rural agricultural setting. And if you show like understanding and throw some back at him about Kevin's like, "Oh, you're familiar with this style of living as well, I take it."
Grew up this way.
Oh, that's fantastic. I had no idea the Terrans cared about growing things. Please don't take that as an insult. I didn't mean it. I just meant it looks...
We'll get there, Kevin. We're going to make some mistakes along the way, and we'll get there.
I was just on a camping trip. They don't have me meeting the new people very often. So, but Janine, the Bago rolls up in front of one of the small dome structures that has windmills on top, and she says, "Well, this is where we get off." And she parks it, and she lets y'all. You can filter off the things. She's like, "Do you want me to send some leftovers with you? We do have a restaurant in town. Debra is a great cook. She loves to make all kinds of like pies and tarts and things like that. But I can send some of this Snicker salad home with you." And she looks at Tox and she winks.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Janine,
Yes.
it's been said that you're very self-sustainable as a community. We find ourselves here unexpectedly. We will be asking for support, but if there are ways that we could repay that to the community, labor, or other knowledge, or however we might be able to help earn some shelter and sustenance, we'd be appreciative.
Oh, that's really nice of you. We'll definitely put you in touch with the mayor. Hal will be able to help you with anything like that. I'm sure he could find a place for you. But y'all were stranded in the woods. We don't ask we try not to ask too many prying questions, but it is kind of odd how you ended up there. Why don't you just take an evening to just kind of relax and settle in? As I did say, there is a comms relay here that we can introduce you to our friend Koo over there, and she'll be able to help you with that.
We'll pay your kindness forward.
That's all we ask. I'm changing it now. Amaranth, pay it forward. That's. But it is time for a break. We will pause here before our four spacemen venture farther into this wonderful bucolic community of Amaranth. We thank you all for being with us tonight. Thank you for tolerating this ridiculous story that we're trying to tell you with Minnesotan Romulans. But I wanted to remind you, where's my script? Yeah, please follow us. There's a follow button down below there if you're new here. Don't worry, I only GM one show on this, and it's not this one. So this is a fluke. You don't have to deal with my bad accents ever again.
You're hitting this Minnesotan pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
Pretty good.
Yes. I keep hearing that I'm dripping into Irish sometimes.
It's a little Irish. You just got to have to offer.
I'm just going Pennsylvania Dutch. That's what.
And then just say, "Don't you know?" at the end of everything.
Don't you know? Yeah, I didn't give Janine as many lines. She's the one who says, "Don't you know?" She's definitely the mom on Bobby's World. Just letting you know right now. Dress is the same hair except it's black. But yeah, there's a follow button down there. Click that heart and notifications if you'd like them. And then if you really want, you could subscribe. It does cost unless you have a Amazon Prime subscription, which you can turn into it. It includes a free Twitch Prime subscription every month. And that kicks us a little money to keep the lights on and keep inviting people back to play games with us. If you like what we do here, please do. We love you. And we'll be back in 10 minutes? Yeah. 10 Minnesotan minutes. We'll be right back.
Minnesota.
Well, in just a second, y'all, because for some reason I decided to make all my windows go away so I can't see anything.
Welcome back, don't you know?
Welcome
Yeah,
back,
welcome
don't you
back.
know? Welcome to the Voyages of here on Rook and Rasp. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was, guys. Just a second. Give me my screens back. I guess I hit the desktop button, so everything minimized.
I used to date somebody from Minnesota, so just. Her name was Heidi.
I spent
I
a
hope
winter
I'm-
in
I hope-
Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh, nice. I hope that I'm giving you fond memories and nostalgia, or at least a tickle. That's all I ask.
I will never forget the Romulan Janine.
J''N''EEN is Janine, and Kevin. Guys, I hope, like, if you want the names for everybody in this town later, I'll send them to you. But welcome back after our break. We do have some upcoming shows coming up this week. We are back in our third quarter of the year, so our season 2s are in full swing. Just before I get into the schedule, I believe I was told yesterday that there are only 2 more episodes of this show left.
Yeah,
this
we've
season.
got this episode and then next week and the week after. So we are done the 12th. Somebody's birthday. She demanded that be the end as her birthday present. Not really, but it is.
I didn't, but thank you.
It does happen to be Roxy's birthday. So that'll be the last episode of this portion of the season, and then we'll be back in January.
Yeah, spend my birthday here in chat with me. That's all I want. That's your gift, chat. That would be your gift to me, and it would warm my small, cold, dead heart. Thank you so much. But yeah, 2 more episodes of this. Tomorrow night we have By Leaps and Bounties, our 7th C2nd edition show that is with Danny Delisle at the helm of that one, and it features me and some other people that are, some of them are in chat, maybe. Some other people. It'll be chapter 6 of our second season, and I believe the name I just got was An Empire of Bones. Doesn't sound nearly as fun as this episode. Just saying. Sounds like bad stuff's gonna happen, but that's okay. Sunday we're back with. Do we have a Seriously Let's Play this weekend? We do not.
No, we do not.
No, seriously. Oh yeah, no, we don't, because I have something going on. Sorry, no, seriously, Let's Play this weekend, y'all. But on Sunday we are back with Illuminated Page, Horror on the Orient Express, that features myself as the GM, with Matt playing a countess on that show. Does very well.
The countess,
the only one that has ever existed. And then Sean is also on that show as Kelsey Haskins, a descendant or an what is the other?
Ancestor.
Yeah, that's the word. I was like antecedent. I don't know where my brain was, guys.
I'm unifying the Rook and Rasp universe.
Yeah, every character Sean has played on this channel has been related, I think. So
no, not Kids on Bike, not.
Oh yeah, I don't count that show because I'm not on it.
Oh,
no, my partner GMs that shows. Yeah, Phil and Sean are in that show, as well as Akila and Panini. And then my partner GMs that one, actually, I believe, is going to be coming back sometime later this fall for a little jaunt. But the other show that Haskins does appear on will also be coming back for a little jaunt, which is a Cthulhu show called Bunkhouse B that Matt is also on and plays Kevin McAllister.
Yes,
Kevin
McAllister. Just take out all the vowels. And it's a Star Trek name. And then again on Monday we have another episode of the Voyages of, our penultimate episode of the season, and it will be GM'd here by Kennedy, or a story told as it is, and it's called Snowfall. Correct?
Yep.
That is correct.
I was going to say Skyfall, but that's a Bond film, right?
Yeah, a little different.
This is just snow. It's going to be nice and pleasant. Y'all are still going to be here in Minnesotan Romulus. And it's gonna be winter by then, and
a Christmas episode.
It's gonna become a Stardew Valley Star Trek sim. And
yeah. I mean,
Haskins has to get
it on our Discord.
Zeke, but Zeke is really hard to shop for, so that's what the whole episode's gonna be about.
It's just gonna be that Christmas festival, or the Winter Star Festival is coming, and we are screwed, y'all. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. again, like, follow, subscribe. We will continue to bring you the best that we can every week until the season's over. So without further ado, let's get back to our wonderful space travelers and space explorers as they are, I guess, exploring this bucolic village of Amaranth here on the Jerushan moon.
Yeah, I think we should head for the restaurant.
Did you just do like a hand signal?
There's a gnat in here.
Oh, I thought you were like suddenly
Restaurant time.
I thought you had like a Federation code, like, and you're like,
Head for the restaurant means run for the
Restaurant.
hills.
we're gonna eat. Let's go. Pew, 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 pew. Let's kill them all because they're all bad people. No,
Right, yeah.
it is, it is probably mid-afternoon. At the time, the sun is still out. The restaurant, you can actually see it's got like an old, if you've ever been to an old diner or in a small town in middle America that has like one of those starburst fixtures out front, that's like a globe with a bunch of little offshoot spokes, and at night the ends light up and it looks like a star, kind of. It's very retro futuristic, but it's out in front of Debra's Diner, and which is D''BRA. And it's
So on
kind
the
of
way-
silver.
On the way there, can we talk real quick? I wanted to get away from Janine and Kevin.
Oh yeah, they're like, if you need anything, we'll be right here. And he starts unloading the van. And
So I think it's possible that we are not in an alternate universe.
I was starting to get that suspicion too.
Victra's dad, the music he puts out would not be the same if it weren't for Victor's mother, who's human. That's right. I'm piecing together your mystery here, Roxy. On top of that, there's too many inconsistencies. They would know more, or they would know less, and not know just enough to keep us without information.
For me, it's more the fact that it's kind of everything that we've always wanted. We've always wanted everybody working together. We've wanted a less aggressive Romulans. We've wanted the Tholians to just be
Normal.
nice
Snicker
dudes.
salad.
Snicker salad is what we want. Utopia has Snicker salad.
Well, also, that's just it. It's very idyllic. There's not like a lot of people have food, wonderful food. People are relaxing, and this is a paradise. In fact, also, as I've started to notice, I feel comfortable, whereas like a couple hours ago, I was freezing. And I know that it might be easy to say, oh, it's warmer outside. It's a pleasant temperature. That's rare to find on a colony world.
You all feel absolutely like, even if the temperature would normally be something that you might feel was a little warm or a little cool, you all feel great.
So the question is,
are we saying that we were kidnapped by the Tal Shiar?
I don't think it's the Tal Shiar.
Could you imagine the Tal Shiar using this as some sort of like torture simulator? And
Yeah,
they're
no,
like,
this-
this would be the worst, and everybody else is like, wow.
No,
this is
more.
great.
I wasn't thinking torture, more information gatherer though.
Tal Shiar's like, the worst thing we could do to them? Snicker salad.
They're gonna just never eat anything else again. They're gonna get diabetes and high cholesterol, and that's it. The Federation is over.
And there's no humans, so no Wilford Brimley to save them. If I could, you know what, I can, I'm in charge. I'd like to posit the idea that when we turn the reactor back to stability, whoever was in control of that facility either placed us in some sort of, I don't know, some sort of simulation, or we're in some sort of holodeck that we're not able to sense or something, and I'm not sure how to end this.
Wish there was a female orange tabby cat here.
Are you asking me to make that happen? Because I cannot.
Are you wanting Maddie to appear? I don't know.
No. Like, my character said that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see if an orange tabby cat showed up.
Maddie, you missed your cue because that would have been awesome.
No, everyone and your compadres here are just like.
You feeling okay?
Well, if everything was heroes that we wished, I was just wondering how reactive it was.
I'm gonna roll a dice here, and I got a success, and that says that Haskins needs to immediately pull out your tricorder and start scanning Zeke because you have concern that he's. Did you have too much sticker salad on the van?
It's all hopped up on the sugars.
That's a success.
Zeke is borderline diabetic. His no. I'm
Zeke's
sorry.
very fit, so
I'm diabetic. I shouldn't make diabetic jokes. That's
Zeke, I think you need to lay off the Snicker salad and maybe enjoy some broccoli for the next meal or two.
Well, you should have their broccoli salad. It's probably also covered in sugar.
It's mayonnaise and cheddar cheese and bacon.
And bacon. Yeah. It's the best salad because it's a BLT on broccoli. No.
I don't know that
you know my physical history in my physical fitness. So I was just testing if we wished for things, if this is this idyllic place, if it was going to be that either not reactive, yes, but also literal.
A Cation walks by that is orange tabby.
Like for real?
And says, "Oh, hi," and just keeps walking.
Like for real walks by?
For real?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's like 90% of what you asked for.
Yeah, that's creepy.
So
if you say that's creepy out loud, she turns around and says, "Well, fine." She just keeps walking. Let's see if I say hi to you.
I want to. This is not making sense. Charlie, do you mind if I stand super close to you? I'm trying to. So I'm going to stand like almost.
Do I need to fade to black?
No, I'm going to stand nose to nose with him. Do I notice a temperature change? I wanted to see if it's isolated or not.
I mean, we could also just scan the air, but yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, the scanners have proven inconclusive,
yeah,
especially
the
if
scanners are not trustworthy. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I see what he's going for. Yeah.
You feel everything is the exact same, and you still comfy as heck. You're just a little closer to your buddy.
All right, so I'm gonna step back. I'm like, I don't know that this doesn't feel like a hologram because everybody feels perfectly comfortable. And I know as a Klingon, my temperature preference is going to be the same as Charlie's or yours, Zeke.
So then a simulation.
It could be.
At this time, you are interrupted by a kind of large pig dog looking thing that just runs over and is just panting and carrying on and starts going around your feet there, Keed, and is just and like gets up on you, and it's very, very furry, bushy fur. You can't hardly even see its eyes. It's got like tusks and a very distinct piggy nose, but also the body of like a dog.
Yeah, and is it my childhood pet?
Is it a targ?
It's a targ.
It's absolutely a targ. It's not.
Is it one that I recognize though from my childhood?
I mean, okay, I'm gonna sound really insensitive. I thought all targs looked the same.
That's like saying all cops look the same.
Jeez.
That was. Ooh. I'm sorry. We just lost all of our followers. I am so sorry. Hey, Bork, get down.
Bork.
Excuse me, I'm also named Bork.
Hey, my name is Bork. This is my buddy Bork and my other buddy Bork. Have you ever been to Vermont? No. Hey, Bork, get down. And you look, Keed, and you see this just massive Klingon.
With a Minnesota accent.
I mean,
okay.
Why not?
Maybe it's not stranger than a robber.
What other accent do you want me to give him? Okay. Do you want him to be Southern? Because I could probably pull that out the hat.
No. I just want to make sure that it was.
He's from up north. He's absolutely from up north. And hey, Bork, and he's like, sorry about that, man. Hey,
right.
And he's like, and he corrals the targ and the sorry, chat. And he gets gets Bork to calm down, and Bork is just imagine what's the dog's name? What's the dog's name in Up? Doug?
Doug.
Yeah. Imagine Doug, but a
Yeah,
tart.
yeah. No, I'm totally picturing the.
Doesn't have an
Tart.
e-collar on yet. Although running up to strangers, you never know what'll happen. But he's like, "Oh, you just need to calm down, buddy." And he says, "Hey, you're new around here. My name's Gok."
Hey, Gawk, I'm Keyed. This is Tox, Charlie, Zeke.
Hey, man. Hey,
But you're not wrong. We arrived here not too long ago. Just trying to get acclimatized.
nice.
That's an amazing targ. I mean, you raise them?
Did you hear that? He says you're amazing. I mean, I've had him for a while. Yeah, he kind of showed up. Me and my buddy Talk. We like to, we keep a little animal farm, but we're growers usually. And you go ahead. Gosh, I wish we had spot hidden rolls in this game. I just want to change games for a second and get a notice roll in here. But anybody who's looking and kind of glancing around and seeing town, go ahead. You know what? In fact, as you have been walking through town and people have been passing you and saying hi, go ahead and give me an insight. Reason at half again. Difficulty 1.
I guess I'm too talking to Gak and Bork.
It's Gog and Tok. Well, Gog and Bork. Tok is his friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Plenty of successes. Yeah, you absolutely don't see any humans, but you see all sorts of other species. Literally, you see Tholians, you see Pakleds, you see Caitians, you see Jem'Hadar, you see Kazan, you see Adosians, Gorn even, and a changeling.
Are there species that we've seen that we're not aware of having gone into the Delta Quadrant?
Tholians.
Okay.
Okay, so because Charlie would know about this, because of his background with, like, with xenoarchaeology.
Sure.
He is going to start to imagine a, God, what was her name? He's going to imagine an extinct species that recently went extinct, but they're all dead, called the Husnock. And he's just going to be like, man, in his head, be great to see a Husnock walking around the corner.
And a Husknock, whatever that is, maybe okay. Does Charlie know what a Husnock looks like?
He would know from the report roughly what it would look like, because he's followed the Next Generation pretty avidly, and also it's a weird thing.
He's followed the Next Generation. He's been watching a lot of Star Trek. No. No, a Husnock walks around the corner after a little bit. And I mean, Gog is sitting there and he's just like, well, and those of you that are looking around, you see it looks like a cloud of smoke, but it's clearly someone walking. They're just smoking a lot. And they approach, and when the smoke clears, it is another just massive Klingon. And he's like, and he's clearly smoking what appears to be some type of cigarette, hand rolled, and he's like, "Where'd you go, Gog?" And this is my buddy Tok, and he's like, "Come on, I met these newcomers here," and he's like, "Hey, man," and he's like, "Don't be stingy, pass some of that over here." And Tok passes the joint, and Gog offers it to the party.
No.
Good.
Thank
you. I'm good.
No.
To each their own, suit yourself. And Tok, after his last straw, he actually blows some at Bork, and Bork is fine. Bork is having a good time.
But all high.
So when you listed off the species, are they what we would consider normal?
None of these
the Federation.
Normal what?
Normally would be in the past enemies of the Federation.
There are Adosians though in
Okay.
in the Federation. Lieutenant Eric's on the Enterprise in the animated
Right.
series was an Adosian,
Okay.
and but yeah, generally probably enemies. But you did see a Cation.
Okay.
I'm not gonna list every Star Trek species
No.
that might be
It's
in
just
this.
my
But-
paranoid brain, when you list off the species, like, ooh, they're all enemies.
I think I've noticed something about whenever we wish to see something, there's a delay. There was at least a couple of minutes delay from when I see the creature going nearby. So whatever's going on, it takes a little bit to come from our brain. You know what happens? Like when Zeke asked for the cat, it took a little bit, and then the cat appeared. Vacation, but so something is actively monitoring our brains, and I think that's why we're getting everything we want.
And why the temperature's so comfortable for each of us.
So I'm going to try something that's a little weird, and we're going to see if it works. And that's probably pretty much Charlie's MO at this point.
I'm gonna throw it at the wall and see what falls.
Right.
Charlie imagines just you know the holodeck control panel thing. He
Oh, the arch?
imagines, yeah, the arch.
Archway.
Thank you. He imagines that appears. Does it appear? Oh yeah, I mean, wait. After a few minutes.
Yeah, and Gog's like, maybe they got their own shit. And Tog's like, yeah, maybe so. We're good now though, and he's like, you heading towards I thought I heard you say something about food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heading towards
That
the done.
doesn't work.
Yeah, the archway does not appear.
Okay.
But so if you make your way there, like Gog and Talk will let you go. Bork starts to kind of follow, and they're like, Bork, come on, bud. They don't need your stinky ass following them around on town. But and so yeah, you go to DeBras if you want, and
On the way, if I may.
sure, absolutely.
Heed, with your med kit, is there any anti-telepathy concoction that you might be able to make that might help prevent whatever's scanning our brains from scanning it?
If I came up to you and found you attached to a machine, there could be something I could inject into you. But with the simulation, whatever I'm going to inject into us is going to be simulated. Simulated, I'm afraid.
Not even our equipment on us is real. Okay.
If we're in a simulation, yeah. I mean, it could be why our tricorders aren't responding. It could be why the communicators aren't working.
What's something? So I don't know which day of the week it was when the Kittimer attacks occurred. I'm gonna try to look that up on my tricorder.
Nice.
Okay. You get like this is just rude riffing. You get like a dinosaur game pops up and says, network error. No, that you can't find anything. There's no records on the Kittimer Accords.
I searched
Or on
for
the
something
keyboard
that I
notes.
didn't know about, and the tricorder couldn't give me anything. So you're probably right. I just kind of toss it.
Okay. So whatever's affecting us, it has to be something believable, but it has to be something we know. Like I look at the doctor and I'm like, hey, or did you say out loud what the Kittimer Accords were, or did you keep that to yourself?
I said that I didn't. I said I looked for what day of the week it was or whatever for the Kittimer occurrence, which was a fact I did not have in my brain, and the tricorder was unable to give it to me, which would support the theory that we're in a simulation that only uses the knowledge we have.
Yeah, I look at the doctor and I say, hey, do you know what day of the week the Kittimer Accords were on?
I should, but I don't remember. I don't pay attention a lot to the Klingon history.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, it's just...
I can look it up though, and I try to look it up on my tricorder.
If you're kind of looking around as you've been still walking towards the diner, it's not that far, but you guys keep getting waylaid by people and questions, and you actually hear Kavin's voice behind you, and he's like, "Oh, there they are, right up there." I think they need to send. They kept talking about ships and stuff, and they needed to kind of like try to get off planet or something, or I. And he's like, "But that's them. They're the ones with the Terran." And you turn around and you see a Cardassian approaching.
Turn this in.
She doesn't seem angry. She's actually got a smile on her face.
Oh, see, that's how I know we're in a simulation.
That's the scary part. And she's like, hello. My name is Kulat. I am Cardassian. And, or she doesn't say I'm Cardassian. Sorry, I was reading my notes and I decided to focus on her species and not what she said. I'm the operator at the comms relay. Kevin and Janine said that you might be looking to use them. Who are you trying to hail? We don't have any ships on sensors.
How long do we want to play this game?
I think at this point
you don't want to talk to Kulat, my Cardassian.
No, yeah, I'm just ignoring Kulat.
That looks like she's wearing a dress, but it's actually pants.
That's terrible.
I mean,
it is.
What do you suggest, Commander? I mean, do we just want to stop playing their game?
It seems that either we're probably being monitored, and so then they want us to react to these types of things, in which case, going forward, would seem to not be logical since we're just playing into what they want. If it's not monitored, we could, yes, look for a solution that maybe would allow us to get out, but if we are inside of some sort of a simulation, it doesn't seem like any of the obvious ways are going to be the way out. Like, we'd have to, I think, do more actions towards testing boundary limits and seeing, to borrow an old human word, glitch something, to make whatever the simulation is break.
Well,
but certainly opening if it's a computer mechanical simulation type situation, Commander Garahari might have more insight to how he can break out from the inside. If we're not trying to psychologically manipulate a potential captor.
So, just out of curiosity, when we went on the away mission, did we have phasers with us?
I would have assumed.
I would assume so. Phasers are standard. There was probably, I don't know if Zeke was carrying one when he was at the diplomatic meetings and things like that, but
I would have grabbed one off the ship.
He would have grabbed one off the shuttle. Yeah, no. And anything that you had when the reactor discharged was on you. Now Zeke has thrown his tricorder away.
Is there a rock nearby? Like just a good sized just rock in the road or on the side of the road?
If you walk, you're on a main small town, downtown America strip. Right. If you walk off the beaten path a little bit more towards kind of some of the homes and farms, I'll say there's somebody has a decorative boulder out in front of their hobbit hole.
I'll put it on a low setting. I'm going to shoot the boulder. I want to see if the phasers are working.
The phaser fires. I'm gonna
stun me.
Spend a threat to say that somebody sees you fire a phaser in this peaceful bucolic town, and is like, "Whoa! Weapons! No, why? Why are you shooting things? Let alone Arlene's rock?" And he's like, and it's an Andorian. Her name is, she doesn't give her name, but it's an Andorian. She comes over and she's like, what are you doing? I mean, at least you're just shooting the rock, but what did it do to you? And I will say, where you shoot it, yes, Phil. Where you shoot it, it looks, you know how when a phaser hits something like that, you kind of get the orange glow on the surface that it's firing at, and it almost looks like it's heating up a little bit, I guess, depending on what setting you're on.
The lowest. I mean, I just wanted to see if it would, like
that
you said,
rock
heat
is
up the rock.
stunned. No, yeah, it's it's doing the same. It looks like your phaser is operating. If you can, do you want to continue to fire at it? Arlene's not going to stop you.
No, you don't stop a Klingon with a phaser in hand. I'm going to look at Commander Z.
I mean,
like, were you serious? Were you serious about trying to be stunned?
Yeah. You know the health risks of stunning me. Like, it's an experiment. You can wake me back up.
Yeah, let's just put it on the low setting and let's see what happens. I'm going to stun Commander Zeke.
Oh my god! Oh my
No,
god!
It's
oh
okay.
my
He
god.
likes it. He likes it.
It's a
my
Darren
god!
thing.
The oh my god goes from shock to I can't believe you just shot your friend to oh my god, it's weird. And she's like, she smacks. She just levels a good smack across. What's your name? Keed. She smacks Keed right across the face, and she's like, "There are children in this community," and she stalks off. But yeah, Zeke is on the ground.
Well,
Looks
so that equipment works.
stunned.
I'm gonna go over and help him up and wake him up.
How dare you bring up weird kinks in this wonderful bucolic town?
Well, I mean,
I hate that word, but I'm going to use it more.
Our phasers are working.
Or
Is there
at least
something we can
phasers
do?
can't impact our simulation experience.
Hopefully you're feeling good, Commander. I appreciate the volunteering for that experiment, but now we know at least.
Yeah.
And about this time, Bork finds you, and again tries to like tackle you, Keed, and hey, Bork, and you see Gog approach again, and he says, "Hey, you all are newcomers, eh?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. My name is Gog, and this is my dog Bork, and you're a good targ. You're a good targ. He's like, have a good day, y'all. Sorry he interrupted you.
Of course. Take care.
Did we not just meet him?
Yes, but I think we should probably get off the streets, Commander Gar.
I think that we don't seem to be in any danger. But
we keep getting interrupted.
Hi, my name is Kulat. I work at the comms relay. Kevin sent me over here.
I've got a theory I'd like to test out, and I just pull my phaser out and shoot Kulat.
That's escalating it.
Yep.
You shot.
I
shot her
shot
right in
my-
Kulat.
It's
you
too
shot
nice here.
the
We're gonna start
Kardashian
shooting
and
people.
Kulats.
Yeah, I already don't like Cardassians. It's not a long stretch there.
How dare
my
you? She was
goodness.
nothing but nice to you.
Yeah, it was creepy.
What was your phaser set on?
Probably somewhere between hurt really bad and kill.
Oh my god.
She evaporates like you shot her with a disruptor.
Okay, I'm looking around at the simulation that we're clearly in now.
You hear people screaming.
Does anything?
Arlene comes out, takes her rock, and goes back inside and shuts the door.
Does anything seem to shimmer or change or reset?
When Kulat disappears, you do for a second. It feels like the what you see does seem to kind of like a glitch, I guess, for lack of a better word. Not super noticeable, like it's not like you suddenly see somewhere else, but like the diner in the distance or one of the houses, one of the structures that you see, like for a second, like maybe the top third of it offsets and then comes back.
And
Does that make sense?
As quickly as I can point that out to anyone that might be able to see it. I do.
Okay. I'll say that you all noticed it even if it wasn't the same building that Tox mentioned. If you were looking not at the disrupted Cardassian, you would have noticed something similar.
We shot a rock and we got to meet Bork again. I'm wondering if we just create some mayhem, if that will tear a part of this apart.
Is this becoming an insurance commercial?
Yeah.
Are we to run amok?
Amok, yes.
You want me to go Terran?
Arlene is like inside to her rock. She's like, they told us about the Terrans.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's what we should do.
All right.
I mean, the people are screaming that we're anywhere near this.
Yeah, we're just all calmly in the street, just like, maybe we should just shoot some more stuff. It'd be fun.
As you shoot and evaporate Kulat, the only person in town who knows how to run the comms relay.
We know how to run the comms relay.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Don't worry.
I wish I had a Type 3 phaser.
Ooh.
You don't get one.
Oh.
That would be cool.
No, I'm gonna start like. Roxy, you're not talking.
You could spend some momentum and get some Type 3 phase rifles.
I guess those would be advantages, wouldn't they?
I mean, I guess.
No, I'm gonna start hand phasering things. Not necessarily people, but like windows.
I'm gonna shoot Arlene's door and vaporize
might
it.
as well.
Okay, so you all just start shooting shit. Like
Charlie,
I'm monitoring
it's for
this
science.
Yeah, I'm just scanning.
Yeah, Charlie's like, ooh, data.
Yeah.
And Charlie, you are quite peeved that the tricorder doesn't seem to really be noticing anything, except for when they do shoot shit. That if they shoot it, like let's say keyed fire. You said you were shooting at Arlene's door. Who was shooting Arlene's door?
I did, because she slapped me.
No, she didn't. Was it? It wasn't Arlene
Yeah.
that slapped. Was it Arlene that slapped you?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Andorian. I thought it was
I thought
Karan the Andorian.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. I'm shooting Arlene's door anyway.
Arlene had the audacity to have a rock in her yard and come out and get it, and now you're just. So if you hold that phaser on her door eventually, like as it heats up, if you just hold that phaser on there, it will start to kind of heat up, sizzle, and as it kind of does that in the shimmer, that comes off of like the heat mirages, you actually start to see more of that glitch. And it takes a while, but if you let go of the phaser, or if you withdraw, it shifts and is okay again.
Boy,
Is Charlie
it's
picking up any of that?
When the glitch happens, yes, Charlie is noticing that there are energy fluctuations and that there's something, kind of breaking through that would perhaps imply. Well, give me Charlie. Because this is a role-playing game and dice is one of the category tags on this wonderful show that we have here, go ahead and give me a little dice roll. Give me a control science with a 2 difficulty.
So I have science, and I am cautious. I get to reroll that, which is what we needed. That is 2 successes.
Fantastic. With what you pick up, it doesn't necessarily. It is holodeck in nature. It's a little different, but it is that same kind of simulation. You are confident by looking at that you are absolutely in some type of a simulation, but you don't have a whole lot of data yet as far as to like how you got into it, when you got into it, things like that.
So, I'm forming a theory here, which is one of my talents. It's clearly a simulation, and what we wish happens, but also, now that we're going off script, it's starting to overwhelm essentially the buffer that's in this. It's starting to create the glitches. So, in order for the simulation to work, there has to be little control nodes nearby, at least that Charlie's surmising. So, Charlie's going to look around the environment and see if there's anything that stands out that's either purposefully benign looking or super important. Essentially, I'm looking for not the glowy red thing, but kind of like the glowy red thing, if that makes sense, where it's kind of like, Charlie is now looking at the glitches, looking at what might be struggling, and seeing if we could find the focal point. And then once Charlie can find that, I would like for my friends to shoot it.
Something purposefully benign like a rock in a yard.
Oh.
I'm gonna keep shooting the door then.
Yeah, kick in that door.
Well, I was about to say, we gotta kick in the door or shoot that rock.
There's probably more. Well, she took the rock inside.
Yeah.
She came out and took her rock and went home.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, if you continue to scan with your 2 successes, I might have to make you scan again. Go ahead. Why don't you also give me an engineering scan, because you're also looking for some type of engineering type thing.
Yeah,
engineering anomaly. I don't have the technobabble chart in front of me.
Yeah, I got 2 successes.
Okay, that's enough. You both together are able to kind of start to piece together as Keed continues to shoot things. Zeke, are you continuing to shoot things or kicking mailboxes and throwing
Well, I wasn't continuing to
jack-o'-lanterns
shoot
at
things.
mailboxes?
You said you were going full Terran.
But you said kicking mailboxes, and that sounds like more fun. But if I get an order to be shooting things,
if you want to really fulfill the fears of the old Romulan PSA films about Terrans, then you need to pick up all the jack-o'-lanterns that are on the porches and just chuck them at the mailboxes.
Yeah.
Get in your dad's car with your buddies with the baseball bat and just start mowing down, mailboxes.
Filling up little brown paper bags full of targ poo, lighting them on fire on people's doorsteps. I mean...
Bork! Borky's a good boy! But yeah, you two are actively just like destroying things or trying to destroy things and interfering with the environment. While Tox and Charlie, with their powers combined and their simulated tricorders, they are able to kind of piece together kind of, again, energy conduits that might be leading, and even though it feels like, now that you kind of are aware that it's a simulation, you see the tricorders start to work and you pick something up and then it and goes back to everything's normal. So the tricorders are working, but the simulation is distorting how you're able to perceive them. But the more that they cause problems and it has to fix around you, you're able to see longer. Does that make sense?
Can I just set my phaser on wide, point it away from everyone in our group, and then just jam the button in, step on it and make it fire? Doesn't even matter if it fires into the ground at this point.
Does this setting make me look fat? Says the phaser. No, I'm sorry.
Just set it as wide as possible so it hits as much as possible, and then see if that will help.
Are you walking or are you staying in one position as you scan? And I'm asking all of you, are you just like a little bundle of four people just wreaking havoc and scanning things in front of Arlene's house?
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be sitting on the ground. And Charlie is going to be doing, because I'm not going to be shooting my phaser, I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm going to try to overload the buffer. So Charlie is imagining a whole bunch of little things, one after the other.
Nice.
And they get increasingly more complicated and obscure in Charlie's mind. Still thinks he's seen, but it's like, I want a half-full bottle of Pepsi. I want, a Chicago deep dish style pizza. I want a Targ eating the pizza.
Everything that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, those things start to slowly appear. Go ahead, any of you that want to, and it can be all of you or none of, or just Charlie. Give me that insight reason roll. I'm going to make this a difficulty 2, and so it's insight reason at half.
We need this.
Hi.
I'm buying additional die with a point of momentum.
Fantastic. Oh my god, that momentum stack just went down.
I got 3 successes.
I got 1 success.
I got 1 success and 1 critical. I rolled a 1.
I got a crit and I got 2 more successes, so that's 4.
How about a half-full sun-kissed orange zero sugar?
I do, and I want to see Abraham Lincoln drinking that.
And old Abe appears with his top hat on and his little stovepipe hat and his beard. No, but no. So with that roll, those of you that succeeded and those of you that succeeded exceptionally well, I'm not going to worry about necessarily the extra information because you have pieced together that, like when Charlie asked for the archway earlier. Perhaps that didn't work because that would have maybe been a way for you to exit the simulation. Whereas if you're just trying to imagine something to flavor the simulation, that's fine. But whatever might be controlling that aspect of the simulation doesn't want you to have a that is your idea, is that the archway was a direct path perhaps out, and it and you knew that and you acknowledged that when you asked for it. That was not okay. But Abraham Lincoln drinking a can of sun-kissed orange zero sugar, they're like, what's he gonna do? so it's more flavor. And so yeah, there's a marching band that starts coming down the street. There's all kinds of good and bad things from Earth history, Saurian history, whatever you think of appears, as long as what you're thinking of doesn't necessarily provide a way out. Like you can't wish for the Serenitis
So
to land on Arlene's house.
I say a lot to say, we can't wish for a direct way to leave. So the only other thing that I can think of is we just keep doing what we're doing and we just refuse to play along, and eventually hopefully the simulation will crash, because even a holodeck simulation can't go with so much conflicting data. And
I assume Zeke and Keat are still knocking things over. Okay.
Still shooting things. Why not?
Mailboxes come back up after a minute.
Are
it's like a shooting gallery.
We're still reading bits and pieces of
You absolutely
things outside.
You're still tracking kind of an energy signal that is kind of leading you up when you can see it on the tricorder. And the more that Charlie is overloading the simulation, you're able to kind of get a steadier picture on your tricorder talks. And you do see kind of like a conduit grid that you are able to kind of follow. You don't see any panels. They seem underneath things, but you do see a node on your tricorder reading that you think you could get to. It's probably maybe 50 yards away in a building.
Does Kulot come back, or is it just the inanimate objects?
Kulot is gone.
Interesting.
Kulot.
You said that. You're like, you're never getting Kulot back. Maybe I'll give you somebody else back.
No.
You're never getting Kulot
You're never
back.
getting Kulot back.
Next, we're gonna meet Pantaloons.
Hey, you never went to the diner, so you'll never know.
Cocky.
No, I will motion for
Dockers.
everyone. I will motion for everyone to follow me to that node, or the building with the node in it.
And let me guess, it's the communication hub.
So, you start to approach a building that kind of stands above the others. It's kind of a weird conical shape, but it's got a normal glass push-pull style door. You go inside. There is an automatic hologram style greeter that greets you, and they say, Operator Kulot will be with you shortly. Operator Kulot is not with you shortly.
I don't think Operator Kulot's gonna make it today.
I wonder if this is where the simulation was trying to hurt us all to begin with. Maybe we should have just came here first.
Shh.
What makes you think that?
No, that was
Don't
Keed.
ruin my brilliant plan of shooting things randomly.
That was Keed.
I know, it was key.
So I see that node though.
You do. So as scanning around, this is the most technologically advanced area of Amaranth. Everything else, again, has been like home gardens, sweet people, solar panels, wind energy windmills, but small ones on top of homes and things like that. This is more technological. Again, a kind of translucent grid structure, hologram humanoid figure appears to, tell you about Operator Kulat. You are able to trace farther down a corridor, and you can go into a room, and it looks like kind of an old style operations center. Like, there are parts that look like switchboards, like old school, like for us, switchboards. You see like old school telephones, but you do also see, if any of you have in your mind what a comms relay should look like, you see a Federation standard, like comms relay, what you might find on a 24th century starship.
I'm gonna attempt to tap into it and access the system.
Okay, give me a control engineering.
Okay,
Can
that
I-
With the
involves
difficulty 2.
computers as a focus.
Yep, absolutely.
And does my computer expertise, the study or programming of a computer?
I like you, Matt. Go for it.
Fantastic. And you know what? I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna give you a threat to get my 4th die. Here comes all 20s, all 4. Okay, no 20s, thank God. I'm gonna reroll that.
Damn. No.
So 1, 2, 3, 3 successes.
3 successes? Fantastic.
3 successes.
Yeah, you're able to do exactly what you were trying to do, and you are able to establish a connection, or you're able to at least get into that interface, and you can send out a signal if you want. Are you trying to hail? Are you trying to, or just?
I'm gonna send out a basic code, like a stop code. Standard
code? Okay.
Federation stop code, like what you would find at the end of any line of code
Okay.
that we would use, just that stop code, and see
Okay.
if I can push that out and see what that does.
Okay. And when you do this, one of the older style switchboards with a headset on it, a light starts to flash.
That's never good.
So I'll pick up the headset and put it on, and
Okay.
plug the thing in, I guess.
You plug the thing in? Okay.
I assume I know how to use it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You
yeah,
hold up
we'll
the-
say
you
that
hold
in
up- you hold up
engineering
the
school
plug
in
for
Starfleet,
you.
they give you a
Computer?
switchboard. Computer. Yeah, you pick up the mouse and you start talking to it to see if it'll respond. No, you do that, and they go, all we wanted to do was talk to you for a minute. You didn't have to shoot everything.
Well, we did.
You have placed us in a restricted area. Some would call it confining.
Well, that
We-
is the first time we have been accused of confining anyone, but okay.
I hold on one second. I take the headset off and I hand it to Cooper. No. Wrong department. Sorry, my bad.
See that energy became a life form. So now,
Yeah.
Um,
to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Hello, Ambassador Cooper. It is wonderful to speak with you again. This is crap. I didn't write down that name.
Your friend.
Crap. Its name is Crab.
Your
Like,
friend Tim. Tim. No. Yeah. It's the Jerushan diplomat that you had met with before, and they simply say, "Oh shit!" They say, "Vicarious," and the simulation stops. Zeke, you now remember that that you agreed to this. You took part in it. Well, here, you all. Zeke has now a memory of everything, but the 4 of you suddenly come to, and you are in chairs simple, comfy chairs that are kind of reclined, almost like dentist chairs, but more at and up. You see the Jerushan people in front of you. Again, they are humanoid. They have kind of a ridge. Their nostrils are a little wider and kind of cut up on the side, and their hair is a little crazy, but it's just longer and different. So we don't judge, but. Zeke had agreed to participate in an exchange of information ritual, essentially, and their leader Tim, for lack of a better name, because I didn't give him one until I forgot. I named Kulat, but I didn't name the ambassador. Uh, but Tim is there, and he is explaining. It's like this was an exchange of information about our peoples. Now, because they had Zeke as the original host of the experiment or the ritual, things geared more towards human history. The rest of you, not having a whole lot of human history, except for Key possibly, but they didn't know that. The simulation actually started with the energy signature. And Zeke was like, well, by that point, he had already agreed to the exchange, and then the rest of it was passed on to the Serenitis as Zeke gave them all this information about, we have the signature, I need people to help me. He calls down the other three, but he was fully under the influence of the Jerushan people. He didn't know that the Jerushans, that's how, and Tim explains. He's like, I may have misled you a bit on the full extent of what the ritual and the apparatus does. But it was fun, right? I mean, none of you are hurt.
Yeah.
I think at this point it's probably best that we return to our ship.
Are you sure?
Unless there is a medical need for us to stay here that you're aware of because of this ritual, I think that we need time to recuperate.
I mean, no.
No.
I mean, there should be no lasting effects. There never have been on anyone else. I suppose we could have explained it a little better, but usually we have found that if you just, get in the device, usually it's fine. People love Amaranth. We've been working on that simulation for ages.
I think that's been very psychologically challenging to myself and to my party members, and I think that we need to go to our ship, and we will contact you again once we've had a chance to.
Of course. Do you try your badges?
Yeah.
You're still fully equipped. Phasers on your hips, tricorders. Your badges work.
Okay. Captain, I think it's best that we pause any current actions and the party return to the ship, and we can resume diplomatic communications once we've had a chance to debrief.
All right. Is everything okay, Commander Cooper?
Let's get back to the ship and make sure so. We've had an incident, a psychological incident, and so I think that we need to care for our people and make sure that they're well taken care of.
Do you want to wait for the shuttle, or should we beam you out?
Let's beam them, and maybe you can send a teleport a party down to collect the shuttle. Another party.
another party.
Get Victor down there to fly the shuttle.
Yeah, put me in your simulation. No. Yeah, he may, you don't hear him say it, but he absolutely says, 4 to beam up, and you are back. You find yourselves back. We will hand wave, change scenes. You are in the captain's in a conference room or the ready room to debrief.
So, I'll speak quickly to summarize the situation, Captain, and then I'll let Dr. Haskins summarize any next steps that he would see medically, and then I can maybe then follow up with any psychological pieces. There was an information exchange ritual that was hopefully not maliciously. I want to kind of replay it in my mind. Played out in where they thought that we were doing an exchange of information, and as part of, and I agreed to that, but apparently I did not have full knowledge of what I had agreed to. And then I'll
Sure. Yeah, you don't have to go through all of it. And Threx is like, what you're telling me sounds like they attacked you. Is that what you're telling me?
I am saying that there is absolutely a perception that could be made that is so, but as with any, first contact and new discussions, boundaries and expectations are bound to be crossed that aren't familiar with and aware of. So I would appreciate some time for all of us, but particularly myself, to replay the moments leading up to the ritual, at which point I no longer knew what was going on. Is what they better understand what they were doing and what their intents were. But I wouldn't say that there was a malicious intent yet behind what is probably fairly considered, from our perspective, an attack.
Dr. Haskins, having performed, I assume scans, once you returned, is everyone in full health, or is there anything that we should be worried about?
Physically, everyone's fine, Captain. I mean, I'm sure everyone is suffering some degrees of a slight existential crisis after being brainwashed into another reality. I would suggest that we all spend time in reality, maybe at the... I'm trying to blank. What is our 10 forward called?
The Dapple Doe.
The Dapple Doe, thank you. I thought it was Stag, but I knew that wasn't right. Maybe everybody should spend, their off time in the Dapple Doe rather than the holodeck, just to help reground themselves in reality. But other than that, physically, we're fine.
I'll encourage the other lieutenant commanders or the other staff to also come discuss it with me as the ship's counselor, and I'll inform the captain that I'll reach out to a fellow counselor on the ship and do some counseling that way.
Crap, I just lost it. Oh, do you feel that we should end diplomatic discussions with the hegemony?
Let's request a pause. Let's explain. Let me write a brief for you to review of a message that we could send to them to explain why we're pausing. But again, first contact, I think that there's still some potential valuable things that we can learn and gain from interacting with this species, and we'll just want to better understand if they would respect our boundaries, and whether we feel we can trust them with the technologies they have if we're going to regularly interact with them. But I don't want to make any, particularly in my state, any rash decisions regarding potential very impactful long-term situations. You know how important first contacts are.
Of course. Did any of the rest of you gather any information that you consider important, or was it all in the simulation?
We gathered information, but based on the nature of the simulation, I'm not sure we can necessarily trust it. I mean, we have our tricorder data, but I don't know what if the tricorder data would be extremely reliable. But I will say we did gather a lot of other evidence, such as the limits of the hologram technology, essentially, as well as just they clearly have the means to, go deep into our memories.
I was quite impressed by the neural interface. So if nothing else, there is scientific gain to be had with an exchange.
I don't think Starfleet Medical has anything quite as receptive as they were. I mean, it was quite literally reading our minds.
But that comes with... that sort of technology comes with a lot of caveats and concerns.
Especially if you didn't consent to have your mind examined. I mean, what was the energy signature at all that you called us about?
I believe that was a delusion of my mind.
That I believe we were already in the simulation at that point. Is that not what you told us, Roxy?
That is what I told you.
I believe we were already in the simulation, and that would explain the weird Romulan feel of the technology.
But our sensors on the Serenitis also scanned.
Captain, I think we both know that faking a power signature is not the hardest thing to do. Especially not when you can mess with minds like this. If they have the technology to confuse us in one way, they may have another one. They may have others.
I appreciate all of your thoughts, and I am disappointed that the Jerusians thought that this was an acceptable way to meet a representative of the Federation. And I share your concerns, and I will make sure that anyone else who tries to meet, before we make a stronger push for the Federation to meet with the Jerusian people, that anyone who comes to this area will be more prepared for the way that they seem to greet their guests. You said they'd been working on the simulation for some time.
Yes.
Did they indicate that they had ever met anyone else from any of the other quadrants, or even other peoples that we've met here? They did not.
While I'm thinking about that question the captain has asked, do I have a pad in front of me?
You do.
Can I look up a fact that I don't know?
How would you know?
That's our top.
What don't I know? Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
What do I get a result?
You do. You find the date of the Kittimer Accords and all the delegates and representatives that were there, and Captain Threx is like, "I'm sorry, am I interrupting you, Ambassador?"
I'm still a touch.
Could you put your cell phone down when you're at the table? Thank you. No,
I'm gonna go on FMLA and require.
right. No, he doesn't.
I have some paranoia still, Captain, between my previous and it's just the five of us, the four of us, supposed to captain in this room.
Yeah.
Along with my previous espionage experiences, and now this, it has me on edge. I was doing, not for the first time since I've been back, a check to see if I'm not in a simulation. No, I don't recall in my conversations them having had any other contact with Alpha Quadrant species.
God, could you imagine the kind of Cardassians got their hands on this? Especially the true way?
Or if Section 31 did.
And Threx pauses to think for a minute and drums his fingers on the table and says, "I'm going to have security put a flag on any of the records of this planet. I need to speak with Captain Rex," and rattles off some admiral's name that commissioned this fleet in the quadrant. And I don't think that's in any document anywhere, man. but,
Are you sure?
Is it? Shit. Shit, I missed it.
She's a real sassy admiral too. She
Is
also
she?
put Picard in his place.
Oh, is it that
Not
one?
that
Is it the
one.
blonde admiral?
Yeah, she's the best. I love her.
Oh man, she drives me up a wall. At least it's not. Was it Jellicoe? Was that his name?
That's because he's a jerkwad. Should have been jettisoned out in space.
I love Jellicoe.
Yeah, well, you've had wrong opinions before too.
I'm gonna flag any records of this. I do not usually request that you keep your experiences to yourselves, but until we can ascertain the actual intentions of and motivations of the people of Jerushai, I would rather we not spread it about. Of course, if you have a reason why you think we should, or if there's someone that you wish to be able to tell, I am more than willing to have that discussion. But right now, I would ask that we treat this as a classified matter that stays with the senior staff. I may win, no rush, because we are going to leave this area. And wait for a Federation representative that can deal with them. But I will probably notify Lieutenant Irax to.
I'll look over at Cooper and say, "Sir, perhaps Commander Cooper should not be in that debrief."
Understood.
Lieutenant Irax has a level of paranoia that I fear could feed.
Fair.
Is there anything else you wish to share with me?
Have you ever had Snickers salad?
And then the camera is suddenly outside the Serenitis as the camera pans away and the ship sails off into the sunset.
And Cooper's just choking his tox against the window.
No. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop us here.
That's great.
But yeah, you guys met a potentially malicious people that don't think they're being malicious.
We just call those people, don't we?
Yeah. You met some people in space, and you had a fever dream on a neural interface that could read your mind. But yeah, I hope you all had fun
We
It
did.
was great.
until the end when it got serious.
Oh, good.
But
Shooting Kulat was the biggest shock.
You're welcome.
I mean, when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was burn culottes. But fundamentalist religion 101. But as it is, y'all, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Let me see if I have our little closing script. We have wonderful social medias. You know where to find us. You can find us. Somebody in Discord can drop in some exclam commands, but we have a Facebook and we have a YouTube and we have a Twitter, and by God, we have a Discord where there's about 150, 160 of us that hang out there and talk about some of the dumbest stuff. But mostly we use it to meet new people, fabulous chat members like you, discuss our shows, discuss where our shows are going. And if you ever have interest in joining us on that Discord or joining us here on one of our shows, that is the place to be to put your name in the hat. We've got a lot of stuff coming up later this year. And if you are interested in joining us for any of that, please do. We generally, though, we just like to talk about games and books and songs and share silly memes and food
Recipes.
The kitchen is probably the most well used channel on the Rook and Rasp Discord. So we would love to have you over there. Again, tomorrow night we have By Leaps and Bounties, and on Sunday we have Illuminated Page, and we'll be right back here Monday, September. Is it Labor Day next weekend?
That is Labor Day.
Sure it is.
And if you're in America, it's Labor Day next weekend. So after your cookout or whatever the hell you do on Labor Day, please join us at 6 p.m. or
7 p.m. Eastern.
My God,
4
I
p.m.
type this every freaking week.
Pacific.
7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Sean's rubbing off on you.
Right, yeah, God, Sean keeps asking me what time zone it is.
No, I was confirming the time zone this time.
Yes, but join us right here at twitch.tv/RickandRasp. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.